of Rugby Union's Six Nations. From Sky News, I'm Robin Montague.
Greatest Hits Radio.
And now, the forerunner to Facebook, where your words tell 1,000 Instagrams. Use your phone for making that call. And get talking across the northeast, please. Because this is Night Owls with Alan Robson.
Hello everybody, welcome. Great to be with you again. Alan Robson's Night Owls. It is, of course, Greatest Hits Radio Northeast. Thanks for sharing your time. For things will be getting better. Tonight, smiles all the way, and the odd rage every now and then, because tonight, it's Valentine's evening. Bet you probably stayed in this year, did you? Oh dear. Yeah. Well, we hope you knocked back a little bit of something delicious and spend it with people that you love. Let's hope that that's how it was. If you're separated from the people you really care for, that's like millions across the planet. But we'll get there. Tonight we're going to talk about romance, the good, the bad, the ugly, the downright disgusting. How did your Valentine's Day go? Did anything romantic remotely happen? Charlie says happy Valentine's Day. Spoken for, Charlie, but nice try. Because you know when romance begins, blimey, age gaps seem to be an issue.
My current relationship is like 14 and a half years difference between us.
If you don't mind me asking, how old are you, Stuart?
I am 32.
You're 32.
Yes.
And
she's 18.
And she's 18.
Yes.
Now, you see, this is the area where the red light spins round flashing. Because if you were 30, say, and I don't know, how long have you been seeing her? You might have been 30 when you met her.
I met her through a friend. She was only 17 at the time.
But you see, the thing is, if you had met her the year before, and she's 16, and she told you she's 16, but she was really 15, you could find yourself in prison. There you go. Age gaps doesn't make a difference. Are you in one of those relationships where, ladies, you feel old age creeping up on you? And who said romance is dead?
Took God knows how many police officers to get him out. They showed him the mace spray. Do you want this again? Because he'd already had it in his face. He's had 2 bottles in his face before to get him arrested. And anyway, they got arrested him, they got him out. They took him down to the police station. Romance
in Newcastle's not like it was.
All out on Valentine's Day.
There you go. Hope nothing happened like that for you guys. And also, one of the things that happens when you're young and in love is you get caught at it.
One night he was getting ready for night shift, and of course we start necking on and everything, you know.
You floozy.
I know. Well, we were going all the way, you know, but I wasn't in the nutty, and here some of the girls from work walked in.
Oh!
I nearly died.
Oh, not good.
It was horrendous. I mean, they ragged me about it. I mean, I worked with 44 girls, so you can imagine what I went through.
Oh, my goodness.
Terrible.
That would have stayed with you the entire time you were working. And also, some boyfriends can be, well, frankly, a bit dodgy.
It was even that bad. It was like when I went to the toilet, he would have to stand inside the toilet next to the door.
So you're having a poo and he has to be in there with you to make sure you're really having a poo?
In case if I've got a phone hidden or anything like that. Or if I was in the bath, he would sit on the toilet.
What a creep. There you go. Have you got a really super possessive boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, toy boy, sugar daddy, any of that kind of thing going on? And also, it's important that if you're unfortunate enough to have sex, then afterwards, well, you should frankly stick around.
He got what he wanted.
Did he?
Yeah. Got up and went to the toilet. When I come back, he'd gone.
No! Oh, that's terrible.
I got my own back.
How?
I was on a night out, and he happened to keep in the pub where I was, and he had the cheek to start chatting us up. So I poured a pint over his head.
Oh, blimey. There you go. Deservedly so. Honestly. One of my mates did something horrific. He'd been chasing this girl for ages, then when he got what he wanted, typical man, he said to her, look, I could take you home, but I really can't be bothered. Can I get you a taxi? What? Thanks very much. Talk a little bit also, maybe you want to give me a call about your very first date.
In the bar, this song came on by Bruno Mars, Marry You.
Yes.
And he looked at us and whispered in me, yeah, one day I'm going to marry you. I was just mortified.
Whoa. On a first date? Whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah, whoa. And this is one of the absolute classics because, as I know only too well, sometimes relationships don't work and it leads to divorce and similar things.
You see, the ex-wife, she's a magistrate.
Oh.
So she'll know every ins and out there is to know.
Oh.
But the thing with it... so, you know,
why don't you just cut your testicles off, put them in an envelope?
She's had everything else.
Oh, I'm sorry for laughing, but hell's bells, you poor man. Tell me your stories too. The good, the bad, the downright disgraceful. We want them all. A few things you might want to comment on too. If you actually want to get into, meat and potato stuff. The Pentagon finally owns up and admits it has tested wreckage from unidentified flying objects there. Progress being made. All children back to school in March. Are you in favour of that? I also want to hear Valentine's Day disasters. Because today, some of you will have given your partner something. Not necessarily that, but you'll have given them something. Did it work out or was it a disaster? So easy to get it wrong. They were the best flowers the garage had. A 9-year-old child, this is horrific, a 9-year-old child will die if the National Health Service don't treat the bairn, but they're asking for £825,000 up front before they will even think of operating on it. When did the National Health Service do that? Has it become private and we didn't know? What's going on? Also, vaccine passports may be needed to get into supermarkets and pubs. And the cold spell's going to end next week. It's going to be about 10 degrees warmer tomorrow, so hopefully a lot of the muck that's lying around, the skiddy stuff, will be disappearing. Did you go sledging and disobey the rules? Naughty people. And Hancock, blimey. And Hancock said just 2 days ago, once the lockdowns end, COVID will always be with us like flu. Now people are saying, well, why didn't we just treat it like flu in the first place? And then we would not have had any lockdowns, any store closures, and yes, we would still have chased the vaccine and still end up getting progged. What do you think? Also, if we've got time tonight, I've found a conversation that I had with the lady who passed this week, Mary Wilson from the Supremes. God blimey, how greatest hits is that? And also, you shouldn't wear socks in bed. Tattoos. Have you got any that you now regret? What is it? Where is it? Because there's a lady called Claire who lives in Woolsington. Woolsington or Woolsingham? One or the other. Can't make out her writing. She has Hot Chris, Loverman. I don't think it's Chris who's on the phones. It says Loverman. Hot, and it says hot. Hot Chris Loverman is tattooed on her back, her tramp stamp. Problem is, she's now engaged to Phil. Oh dear. Don't know what's going to happen there. And also, one bloke says that he burped every few minutes for the past 8 months. God, blame me, that must be tiring. And talking about that, if we're talking Valentine's, really bad habits that you find difficulty living with? Do tell. And are all proposals of marriage, are they all kind of super romantic? Like to know that. And a woman suffered a stroke from taking the pill? Have contraceptives caused you any kind of grief at all? And a man sold his sperm 500 times. He's now worried, because it's been like 20 years of doing it, that he might meet one of his unknown daughters, not know it's his daughter, and have sex. What a creepy thought. Donald Trump escapes the impeachment, cleared of incitement. What more did he have to do? Actually carry a flag himself. Everybody's taxes to go up massively to pay for COVID and the problems caused by Brexit. Oh, happy damn. Only 5% of doctors and NHS staff think Boris did a good job through the pandemic. Vegan foods are even better than ever, and they are the future, says a lady called Claire who sent a note into us. And when was the last time your heart almost exploded? A friend of mine was bidding in a house auction and went over his limit and nearly pooed himself. So when was the last time your heart almost exploded? It might be love related. Might be that. And also, just something that I thought was worth mentioning. I know on Night Owls we are accelerating happiness, smiley, jokey, funny. Thanks Freedom Discos, their Night Owls mug came this week. Hope you're back sounding and lighting very, very soon. Sarah says, I've been with my husband 23 years and I left last year. He's now with my best mate. Best decision to leave I ever made. I'm single and had 4 deliveries for Valentine's Day today. I'm shocked. Maybe I won't be single forever. You're hot, Sarah. You've got it, girl. Craig says, this is my first Valentine as a singleton and it was lush. Had the kids until dinner time, cooked myself a nice meal, watched a movie, had a long nap and a beer. Perfect. There you go. And Jim says, is your hair real, Alan? Just on my head. I wear a merkin down below. Also, I just thought it was worth saying to everybody, before I play you a few more daft clips, that we will get through this. Might not be soon, but we're going to get the world back. And we're going to squeeze the juice out of every second. We're going to travel. We're going to see as much as we possibly can. We're going to see the people that we love more than ever. And what I would like you guys to pledge, if you can, to just go and do more. Because we've kind of been trained to sit on our backsides doing nothing. And when we break free again, and we will, do everything. Do the lot. Because the world is full of magic. And it's for you, you know. We've got to grab it when we get the chance again. Christine says, I got a Valentine's card off the dog. Better than out, I suppose. Gotta watch them dogs. If he thinks you like the Valentines, you gotta be careful, that's all I'm saying. Don't turn your back. Especially when you fill in the bath. Also, how many people got first love success?
We've been married for 5 years now. We've been together for 6 years. We've got married on with first anniversary of being together.
People say that your first love, whether you stay with them, whether you end up with them, doesn't matter, but your first love has this amazing impact. Mm-hmm. And I think that's true, you know. I do think the first person you open up to in that kind of way is always important your whole life through.
Yeah, because we've had conversations and stuff, and I've like, what would have happened if I didn't move?
Right.
We could have been together from 14, and he was like, well, you don't know because you've had your life, I've had my life, but
you never know. That's the question. We want your calls on love and life and the good, the bad, and the downright peculiar. You call us now. Alan Robson with you. Greatest Hits Radio Northeast.
the voice of the North.
Alan Robson's Night Owls, the phone-in that gets you talking.
Greatest Hits Radio.
Okay, let's dive straight into the calls. Kicking off with Simon, who is in Washington. Hello, Simon.
Well, hello there, Alan. How's it going this evening?
Keith Canny is out. Thank you very much. How was Valentine's for you there in Weshy?
Oh, it's gone all right in Washy, I tell you, Alan. I mean, romance is in the air. It's thick. You could cut it with a knife. Or there's something in the air, at least, anyway.
Right. Has it really been... Problem is, everybody's been in prison with their partners for the longest time.
When you've been locked down with somebody for the best part of a year and keep things up your sleeve and keep a surprise going.
Right.
You know, I mean, every possible angle of your body or anything, you know, people have got to see all kinds of different facets of everybody. There's probably, you know, new layers to every relationship that's had to go through lockdown, I imagine.
Absolutely. So how about, did you manage to create any magic then?
Well, it's all about, you know, being like a magician, isn't it? You know, presenting, but not really necessarily. I mean, that can be said for your love life as well. It doesn't just have to just be romance. Once you've got them nailed down, you can, you know, keep the surprises forthcoming. Yeah,
well, you can to a degree. It's difficult because a lot of people have got partners that say, I'm not very fond of Valentine's Day because you should be doing all this kind of stuff every day of the year. And there's an argument for that.
I absolutely agree, Alan. I mean, we're in a busy house. We've got a young family, 3 kids. And, I mean, as you can imagine, sometimes after, you know, a busy day, the last thing on your mind is bloody scattering rose petals everywhere and, you know, lighting a candle and really putting in the graft, as they say. That's why I think sometimes it's nice to have an excuse to be able to push the boat out as well. Because I'm not necessarily the most forthcoming, like, romantic person. As a man, I think, you know, it's kind of our cross the bear, isn't it? Some are really good at it. But most of us, you know, blokes are pretty terrible at it. You know, romance tends to require, like, foresight and planning and that kind of thing. Which is,
we're
speaking for myself, but
women, I've seen from looking outside in, women seem to be totally in control and prepared and ready, and anything that they might need for this month, they already sorted on the 5th of January. It's all in place, and we get to about the 13th and we go, it's tomorrow. That seems to be the way it is. Or have you managed to find a way? First of all, I don't know how you juggle the 3 kids to squeak any romance there at all, because I mean,
well, there isn't really. I suppose after the 3rd one, romance is pretty much snuffed out.
I was going to
say, you've got more babies than you have hands, you're in big trouble.
So what happens from a noise point of view? Or has love suddenly gone from yes to shh, you wake them up?
I mean, I couldn't compare myself to the levels that you're performing at.
I wish.
But, I mean, I went from playing stadiums to more kind of, you know, intimate gigs now, I think it is, you know.
Gotcha. Hey, but that's good. I mean, was she happy with whatever you presented to her today? What did you do?
Well, I kept it simple, to be honest. I played it safe. I got chocolates, flowers, and a pair of comfy PJs.
Oh, that's clever.
It was. It scored us some brownie points, definitely.
Oh, that's good.
I mean, she cooked the steak and everything tonight. We've had a little bit of a glass of wine. We've had some steak and some chips. It was very classy.
I presume you've now got to a point where the choice is, it's late enough at night for you maybe to be lucky, or you're so bloated with a steak you're thinking, hey, maybe it's tomorrow.
Well, it's a little bit of both, isn't it? You know, I mean, a little bit of bravado. The problem is, I've got the grace of a African elephant, in all honesty, at the best of times, without a belly full of steak and a glass of wine in it. So, I mean, it's like watching a 20-stone ballerina try to do pirouettes and things, you know. It's quite a sight.
Well, in fairness, though, that's that wonderful sight. Disney made a fortune out of it in Fantasia with the dancing pink hippopotamuses. Or hippopotami, I'm never sure about that. But hey, at least you had a go, and I think you played a blinder. The things that you got...
Participation medals were a thing. I'd definitely be getting one of them. I don't know about gold or silver, but
that's pretty good.
It's just I'm just happy to be there. Happy to be a part of it.
Happy to be in the team. That's good. Hey, no, can't fault you, man. Congratulations. Happy Valentine's Day. Thanks for coming on.
Oh, thank you, Alan. Thank you for having us once again. It's been great to speak to you again. I love catching you on a Sunday evening. Never miss you, bud.
Bless you. Nibosh, thanks for calling.
Thank you for your time.
Cheers, mate. Bye-bye. And that nice Simon in Washington. Now, you see, we talk about men being blundering in, and we do a bit. Scott Ward, happy birthday. Just wants a shout out. There you go. Don't know how old you are, though, but... And he sent me... Is that a penis that he sent me? Oh, no, it's two hands together. It doesn't half look like a penis. And that worried me because I've already been sent this by Craig, who simply says... Roses are red, violets are blue. I'm using my hand, but I'm thinking of you. Blimey. If there's anything that would stop you fulfilling that, it would be a picture of me. Anyway, let's move on. We have Angela, who's in South Shields. Hello, Angela.
Hello, Alan.
Hello, darling. How you doing?
I'm not too bad. How are yourself?
I'm wookie-cookie. How did you get on Valentine's Day? Any luck?
No luck. I'm very single, spending the day on my own. So,
Right.
like a lot of people out there. So
Were you were you watching the letterbox yesterday? I know they wouldn't arrive today, but were you watching yesterday, or are you thinking just maybe it might be late because of the snow?
yeah, I did as well, thinking I might have got something from Amazon because they deliver on Sunday.
They
so,
do.
unfortunately, there was nothing.
Have you got your eye on anybody though, kicking around, or have you been swiping left?
Oh, that's for me to know. I'm keeping things very close to my chest.
Oh, that's fair enough.
But I wanted to talk about like first dates and the age gap type of thing.
Okay.
Many years ago, I say many years ago, I was about 25, 26.
Right.
I went on a first date with a guy who I met online, and he was a little bit older than me. And we kind of hit it off, and we met up in Barluga in Newcastle.
Oh, I like Barluga. When it's open,
great.
it's hard to remember.
I do miss it.
Hard to remember these places. They've been closed.
I know it's been a year since everything was open, but anyway, we meet up and we're having a couple of drinks and we're having lunch together. And I noticed that people around us were like nudging each other and looking and winking, like, "Oh, look who it is!" And I didn't clock who it was at first, so I was actually with. I didn't know that he was marginally well known in the northeast.
Right.
And we were sitting there having something to eat, and I felt like I was being interviewed by him. I thought, wow, you definitely have a voice for either radio or television.
Right.
And
it wasn't. Can I just stop you a second? It wasn't me, was it?
Unfortunately, no. It
that's
wasn't
all
you, Alan. No, it wasn't you.
Right.
And it wasn't until a couple got up and they were going out and they walked past us, and one said to the other, and I don't know if I should really name who it is, but I will anyway.
Oh, we're all nebby as hell, so you might as well.
That's Paul Frost from Northern Life.
All right,
Yeah, and I looked at him thinking, oh, no, I remember you. Obviously, he didn't have his beard when I saw him, and
Right.
It was a bit strange. And, we finished our meals, and we said our goodbyes, and then it didn't end there. Like, hours later, he was then calling me, asking, I'd love to see you again, and all this. And I thought, I'm not sure about this, because he was a lot older than me at the time. But it's certainly a story that I look back and I have a laugh about, because I just think it was so random, because I wasn't sure who he was. But
right. Well, that's just proof that you're sincere.
I recognised him off the television, but it was a bit strange. I mean, it's a funny story to tell your friends. Like,
even so,
I
it just
went on a date with this guy.
Proves you were sincere, though, because you gave it a crack. You were willing to give the guy a go, even though he was a little bit older. If it had been the other way around, and he'd been that many years younger than you, would you have done it?
Probably, because my ex is almost a decade younger than me, so I don't think I have a problem with the age gap issue. I know a lot of people out there do, but if you find love, and it doesn't matter how old that person is, obviously, within reason, go for it.
No, absolutely, I totally agree. What's been the best thing that's ever happened to you on a Valentine's Day? I mean, have you ever been swamped with goodies?
Well, not swamped with goodies. I've been taken on holiday and that type of thing, and nothing like outrageous. But perhaps it might happen next year. Who knows?
Well, I tell you, there is a vacancy, gentlemen of the North. Here we go. Angela's waiting for just a glimpse of love coming her way. Why do you think it's not been happening for you? I mean, have you been? I nearly said, have you been putting yourself about? I mean, have you been reaching? Have you been reaching out? And is there somebody on the horizon you've been trying to attract?
No, I think with everything going on with the lockdown and everything like that, I've just tried to focus on that and unfortunately put everything else on the back burner. And we'll never know. Maybe in the future we might have someone in the picture. Who knows?
I hope so. I agree with you though. It seems an almost, because I know not everybody's a fan of the online stuff. And you always, even if you meet somebody online, you want to meet them face to face, because it's only then I think that you really get the chemistry kind of thing. And you kind of do it. You can do it like over a wall, 15, 20 yards away, but it's not quite the same. So hopefully the world will return, and the sooner the better for all of us, I think.
Yeah.
Anyway, hey,
look forward to.
Good talking to you, Angela. Thanks very much, darling.
You're welcome now. Bye-bye.
Take care, bye-bye. So there you go, out with the stars. Have you dated a celeb? Oh, blimey, cool. Because I don't know about you, but I have witnessed an awful lot of people hurling themselves at footballers over the years. And, I've never fully understood it. No disrespect to every footballer, but I'm used to footballers just not really having the chat. They've got the cash, but some of them are, thick. But anyway, so do explain. If you've hurled yourself at a footballer, was it a good thing? Was it a bad thing? Or did it rebound badly on you? I do know the story of a footballer who used to play for Newcastle, who, whilst driving past Newcastle Central Station, opened the passenger door and threw the woman in the car out onto the road. And, I could name names. What a book that would be. Let's crack on. We have Lorraine from Sunderland. Hello, Lorraine.
Hiya.
Hello, sweet Lorraine, Nat King called people like you. So what can we do for you, Lorraine?
Hi. Just about these Valentine stories, which are very nice when you're in love and that. But for me, it's been more than 20 years since I've had a Valentine or been in love.
Bless. Why have you left it so long? Or has just love not flooded upon your shoulder?
I think I've just blocked it. I just don't want... I couldn't be in a relationship with me. I'm just too weird.
Did you have a bad thing happen that caused that?
Oh, quite a few.
Yeah, but you see, who hasn't?
I know.
Frankly, I'm the one that's had a good few really horrific things. But I'm an optimist, so I believe that, this time will be the greatest moments of my life, and that's what you hope for.
I don't want it, though.
No?
I like being single. I love being single.
But there's not... What about a bit of kissy poo and a bit of spooning and stuff?
No, not when you get to my age, Alan.
No.
No.
I didn't think there was an...
Twice, it doesn't agree with me.
I didn't think there was an age when you could cope without it,
Well, I suppose anyone can find love at any age, but I'm happily single. But I do have a couple of Valentine stories for you.
Oh, well, let's have them then. Lovely.
Oh, God. Years and years ago, when I was young, I was a dancer.
Oh, wow, yeah.
And I was married to a bit of a weirdo, and he had a horror show. And we did a gig down in the Hippodrome in London.
Wow.
But it was on Valentine's night. And I was thinking, oh God, this show's not going to go down well because it's like horror, it's coffins, snakes, fire eating, all that.
Yeah.
So anyway, we get on stage in the Hippodrome, Peter Stringfellow's plays. Oh, he loved the show. And as we were coming away from the show, we were driving up the motorway, slammed the brakes on, coffin come flying off the roof rack, and fell onto the road.
Wow.
And at the show, the back curtains in the Hippodrome, we had sort of two banshees on the back with candles in the hands.
Right.
Sort of to get the mood of the horror and that.
Yeah.
The blooming curtain set on fire. It was just like one of those nights when you just want to forget. And I don't think there's things I ever wanted to see us again.
Yeah, it was like a Valentine's massacre rather than a romantic
it was like
Valentine's
Day massacre. It was totally like that. I'll never forget that.
Isn't that funny though? Because when one thing goes wrong, everything goes wrong.
Yeah.
Just one after the other after the other. Oh, jeepers.
I remember working at a place well, I lived in Benidorm for a while. Hello, Benidorm fans. I know the Concord in a minute, but I lived in Benidorm and I was doing an ABBA tribute show there with my daughter, Simone. And we were on the way to the gig, all dressed as ABBA, but we used like a motor scooter, a little scooter.
Oh, great.
To get the gigs because you can't get parked.
Sure.
So on our way, costumes flying, cloaks, ABBA cloaks flying, and we got stopped by the Guardia Civil, dressed as ABBA. And I'm thinking, oh God, it's going to be bad for us. And I'm like, Happy Valentine's Day, and they were like, no, papers. I barely wanted the papers. And then one of the Guardia took a camera out from the car, and he went, photo is possible? I went, yes.
Oh, that's great.
So me and my daughter just stood there doing the ABBA pose with the Guardia Civil.
Brilliant.
And we got off with a warning.
Excellent. The winner takes it all. Well done.
Yeah, the winner takes it all.
There you go.
But I do keep away now from, everything seems to happen to me on Valentine's Day. I don't know why.
So I hope you've had a peaceful day today then, have you?
I've had quite a nice day, but my son-in-law, Carl, he keeps, trying to fob me off with weirdos, but he is from Wales. So I tend to take no notice of him. But I've turned myself sort of into like a hyacinth bucket person.
Oh, have you?
Yeah.
Right.
I just I look at men and I go, nah. Can't be bothered. I like being on my own.
Been there, done that.
I met a guy once. Up to me.
I understand. I mean, there's some people, but do you not think one day, not one of the weirdos, but do you not think one day you'll be in the supermarket and your eyes will meet somebody across a crowded room and...
I always get the weirdos, but I do think I attract them.
Right. But is this because you're incredibly glamorous? Because obviously a showbiz sort.
I'm not too bad, but I'm getting on a bit. But this guy came up to me once, and he was only like, hello, how are you? And I said, nice things. He was nice. And I couldn't be bothered. And I just turned around and I just did my hyacinth bouquet voice. And he just shut off. He just listen, it's my sister Violet. It's the one with room for a pony. And he was away. He just flew in the opposite direction. I just don't think Valentine's Day agrees with me.
Right.
But I'm quite happy to be on my own. I like being on my own. I love being single.
Good on you. Hey, well, keep enjoying, and thank you very much for your story. I'll try not to rub in too much lovey-doviness across the... We'll put a few horrors in there as well, just for good measure.
Well, I hope I've cheered some of the single ones up.
I think you have. Thanks for coming on, love. Take care.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Yeah, no, I agree with that. You know, what I used to do, and the thing that is interesting about Night Owls is, over the year, this is the first time we've done romance and stuff, because every time it was Valentine's Day previously, I've always said, let's talk about hate and divorce and the antithesis of it, the opposite of love and romance. Decided just to go down there because over the last year we could do with as much love as we can get away with, frankly, of any kind. Anyway, let's move on. We have Catherine and Rana, who is in Stanning. Rana, I think, is all of 8 years old. Hello, Catherine and Rana.
Hiya.
Oh, blimey, how many telephones have you got? You sound like you're all together. Lovely stuff. Tell me everything about it. I gather you've made a new hit record. Is this correct?
Well, it is, yeah. It's a project that Rana's been involved in that was advertised on Facebook.
Right.
A guy called Brendan from the West Midlands Choir.
Right.
Has come up with the idea of getting hopefully 1,000 children's voices to record You Raise Me Up. Pop them all together and then release it as a charity single for NHS charities. Excellent. And also the NSPCC.
Fantastic. So how does it work? I mean, do you have to go into you probably can't go into a studio. Do you have to record it on your own device and send it? Or?
Yeah, you do. Yeah, he sent them out via email because this is children sort of up and down the country,
sure.
North to south.
Right.
Sent the 2 tracks along. Rana had to put her headphones in and listen to it on her iPad, learn the song, learn the tune, and then we recorded her singing it. sent it across to them, and I believe over the past 2 weeks they've been really busy in the studios, mixing it all together, putting all the voices on,
Great.
putting photos of the children on that took part.
Uh-huh.
And they have some Down syndrome children sign languaging all the way through it as well.
Fantastic.
And today it was released. It is on their Facebook page, 1,000 Young Voices.
So it's 1,000 Young Voices is what everybody's going to look for, right?
1,000 Young Voices, and it's on YouTube, and I do believe it's going to be released on iTunes.
Oh, that's
for people to
brilliant.
buy.
Rana, how does it feel to be a superstar?
It feels good and exciting.
I know it sounds exciting to me too. Would you do me a favour, Rana?
Mhm.
Could you sing me a bit of the chorus? Because I'd love to hear your bit.
Okay.
Great.
Go on.
Go on then.
Come on. You raise me up.
You raise me up so I can stand on mountains. You raise me up to walk on stormy seas. I am strong when I am on your shoulders. You raise me up to more than I can be.
Ah, that's beautiful. You say great words as well. Why do you feel it's so important to help the National Health Service, Rana?
Because it's like really nice to them, and they've been working really hard, and I just thought it would be very nice and kind to them.
It is.
And
It's
a
a
little thank you message.
It's a lovely thing for you to do. Have you been away from school a long time now, have you? Or are you back?
Yeah. Doing it on Teams, and we're just doing home learning from Teams.
Right, because they say everybody's going back in March, so you've got a few more weeks off now. So what have you been doing to fill your time in?
I've been playing with my brother, and my brother got a new set, and it's like an exercising set, and I use the pull-up bar as a monkey bar.
Right.
And you do theatre as well, don't you, on Zoom?
Yeah.
Wow. So you're not just a singer, but you're an actress too.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. You must be very proud then, Catherine.
I am. She's done so well through the full lockdown. Her and her brother.
Right.
They really have been very strong. I'm out there working, mostly for the NHS.
Right.
And as you can imagine, it can be quite stressful. But these two have been an absolute godsend. I can't praise them enough for how they've managed throughout the full thing, to be honest.
We've heard other people mentioning the pressure and the tensions that can escalate in a house real quick when you're with each other all of that time. I know you've been to work and back, but everybody else is kind of still stuck in the four walls.
Yeah.
But it sounds like they've coped better than most of us, frankly, by the sound of things.
They have. They've had really good structure. My son, he does air cadets, and he's a swimmer.
Oh, great.
So they've had a lot of sort of online things going on. Like I said, my daughter, Rana does theatre.
Right.
And sort of her theatre group have been through first and second lockdown, keeping the kids entertained, still doing theatre things. And, I think keeping structure for them has helped an awful lot.
No, I think so too.
And, they've kept me going.
It's great, but
they really have.
Absolute respect to you and your colleagues as well. Send them my love if you would. And thank you very much for coming on. 1,000 Voices is where you look on Facebook if you want to check Rana out and all of her friends singing, raising some money for the NHS. Lovely stuff. Thank you, Catherine. Thank you, Rana.
Thank you. And you're welcome.
And happy Valentine's Day to you both. There you go. Catherine and Rana in Stanley. That's not exactly at the top of the mountain. It's not at the bottom of the mountain. It's kind of halfway up. 0191 488 3188. Going to be a piece of music for you now, and then something spectacular from Catherine in Sunderland. I'll tell you more about that. But first things first, and this is me having a chat with Status Quo about some of their worst pains.
What's the worst thing that's ever happened to your bodies? I want accidents, operations, pain and screaming.
agony.
Well, I think I'll go first here.
I think so.
I woke up one morning, dun, 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 and I had this massive pain across from one shoulder to the other.
I get it every morning.
And
Shoulder,
I thought, well, I better go and see my doctor. So I whacked a tracksuit on and went and saw my doctor. He said, I don't like what I'm hearing. Just pop round the hospital and have a checkup. 3 months later, I'd just recovered from a quadruple heart bypass.
Shit.
That was fairly bad.
Beat that then, Francis. Come on.
You can't, you know it.
I had a tooth out the other week. I don't know if that's any good. I think the worst thing that's ever happened to me is I became a cocaine addict, which isn't very much fun at all. It sounds horrible. It's a horrible thing to do. I don't know how we got there.
What's the state of your nose then? Because I remember some newspaper coverage saying, oh, he's got no nose up there, Francis Rossi.
See if you can hear this.
Oh, that is a hollow sound.
No, that wasn't his nose. He's had you there. You want to see what he's up to here? Put it away.
I was just banging it on the desk. You know, it's like... that was my nose. Yeah.
Yeah. Whoa.
On course to meet its target of offering a first dose to everyone in Britain's top 4 priority groups by Monday. Matt Hancock thanked those working on the rollout, including people who've had the jab.
Over 9 in 10 of all over 70s in the whole country have now been vaccinated. And this is really good news because the vaccine protects you, it protects your community, but crucially, it is also the way out for all of us out of this pandemic.
Over 65s and those classed as clinically vulnerable in England are now being invited to book their vaccinations. Bosses at Heathrow admit their key concern ahead of quarantine rules coming in tomorrow is whether Border Force will be able to cope. Anyone entering the UK from the so-called red list country must isolate in a hotel for 10 days. In sport, Manchester United have slipped up again in the Premier League title race with a 1-1 draw at struggling West Brom. Captain Harry Maguire thought he should have had a penalty.
Points to the penalty spot, you think there's no chance it's getting overturned, and I was so confident that it was going to be given as a penalty, but it seems like the decisions at the moment are going against us. But we've got to do more to win the game. We can't be relying on VAR decisions.
Arsenal have gone back above Leeds to 10th after beating them 4-2. Southampton suffered a 2-1 defeat at home to Wolves. Celtic beat St Johnstone by the same score in the Scottish Premiership. In the Rugby Union Six Nations, Ireland lost 15-13 to France to suffer back-to-back defeats. And Andy Murray's been defeated in the final of the ATP Challenger tennis event in Italy. The former world number one went down in straight sets to Ukraine's Marchenko. From Sky News, I'm Robin Montague.
Thank you very much, and welcome back. Alan Robson's Night Owls, of course. Thanks for being with us. Now, you can also pick up your telephone, join us, text us, tweet us, email us. There's a lot of ways to get in touch. Just be part of it. We'd love to have you with us. And we're having a few people sending emails and saying the best clips of superstars anywhere, always on the Night Owls. And we got thousands of them. So an awful lot more for you over the years to come. But let us move on to our first clue to win you the legendary Night Owls, that's it, Night Owls mug, if you would like one. And you also get this beautiful little thing that Sue puts together. Hang on, let's see if I can get that to you. There's an owl, and there's a ceramic owl. There's a little radio. There's a moon with a star next to it, and there's a really big star too. And you just kind of pin it on. It's an owl medal, you would call it. And it's there waiting for you. You'll get that with the mug as long as I've still got them. Sue, I hope, will be advertising these heavily while we're doing that on the Facebook site. So if you want to get hold of them, that's where they'll be. So, 4 clues. This week, I've changed the competition again. The competition is going to be songs, greatest hits from the movies. I'm going to give you 4 clues, and you've got to tell me the name of the song and the film that it comes from. That's the 2 things you're going to need to do this week, and probably for the next few weeks too. You need to tell me the name of the film and the name of the song from 4 clues that I give you. The first clue is this. A sightseeing trip on a boat is usually called this. A sightseeing trip on a boat is usually called this. What would you call it? That's your first clue. 3 more clues to come. Don't try and enter it until you hear the third clue. But let's get back to our VIP. It's Catherine, who's in Sunderland. Hello, Catherine.
Hi, Alan.
Hello, darling. Sorry to have kept you waiting there.
It's okay.
Brilliant news today where you are a very courageous person. Literally turning the tables on a man. And why not tell everybody what you've done today?
I proposed to my boyfriend.
Dum, dum, dum. Sharp intake of breath. What did he say?
He said yes.
Oh, congratulations. You are now an engaged woman. Congratulations. Yes. That's fantastic.
Thank you.
How does it work with a ring then? Does now he have to get a ring or did you get one for yourself?
Well, I got a ring for him.
All right.
But it doesn't fit him. It's a bit small. So
right.
I'll have to sort something else out.
You can get them made bigger though, can't you, rings?
Yeah, I think so.
Right. Hey, well, congratulations. And
thank you.
Have you named any kind of date or first things
Probably
first?
A couple of years. Probably a couple of years. I mean, I've only been going out with him since about August. But
right.
I've known him since I was 21.
Oh, blimey,
and I'm 48 now, so...
Right, so if you don't know him by now, it literally is a bit late in the day. What decided you? Because if you've known him for that length of time and you've been dating him relatively a short period, 6 months, what made you think today is going to be the right day to do the do?
Well, I've been thinking about it for weeks. It's been planned for weeks, to be honest.
Right. How did you do it then?
What I did was, I cooked a meal.
Right.
So I cooked the starter, and then I had the main course in the oven.
Right.
And then while that was in the oven, I mean, I was drinking the bottle of Prosecco as well for good Dutch curry.
I was going to say that helps, right?
Yeah. I had some romantic songs that I'd made a playlist.
Right.
And I had a romantic song playing in the background.
Right.
And then I just got down on one knee and said to him, that I loved him loads and I wanted him sort of get married to him. So
now this is a perfect time because he knows his bait's in the oven. If he'd have said no bait. So, I mean, you caught him in a good place there. Well done. I mean, was he thrilled?
Oh, he was. I mean, there was no hesitation. He said yes straight away. So
brilliant. That's great. Hey, well, congratulations. That's fantastic. So, a good reason to remember Valentine's Day for the rest of your lives as well. That's great.
Yeah, and of course, my friends are all thrilled.
I bet.
There was one in particular who I confided in weeks ago and told her what I was going to do, and it's been killing us both, trying to keep it a secret.
Right. Oh no, that's tremendous. And under normal circumstances, now that you're engaged, there'd be a do, and you'd meet all your pals, and they'd all congratulate you and give you a hug and give you little presents and this, that, and the other. Isn't it a bitch the way things are at the moment, where you can't do that? You're in your little pods. But hey, safety first, all the time.
Of course.
You'll have years and years and years to go out and party hardy, and I hope you do that first chance again.
He's not really a party person, to be quite honest.
Good.
It's his big birthday this year. He's 50 this year.
Uh-huh.
And he said to me, he says he's not really bothered about having a party or anything like that. He's a quiet type of person,
He'd rather just be out with you.
Yeah.
I get that. That's cool. That's great. It's not a bad way to be. Why is it taking you so long to hitch up if you've known him for all those years?
Well, things have gotten in the way. He's been courting somebody and I've been courting somebody.
Right.
And my male best friend is his best friend.
Right.
And he sort of turned round and said to us, because I'd gone for a drink with him, and he said to us, he said, you know what? He says, I've got somebody who will be perfect for you. And I went, who? And, he's called Sean, his fiancé.
Yeah. Oh, listen to that. Throw that one in. My fiancé. Lovely.
He said it was. I think he'd be like perfect for you, you know.
Yeah.
And I've liked him for years.
What, like a friend liked him or fancied him?
Fancied him for years.
Oh, wow, that's great.
And he turned around and said to me, he said, "You know what?" He says, "I've been in love with you for years."
And yet neither of you had the idea to just tell each other.
No.
Ah, what a waste of time. You could have been together for years.
I know. He said to me, he says that he wishes he'd got together with us a long time ago. I mean, we've kissed each other as well. About 3 times we've kissed each other.
It's still not. You see, things happen for a reason. Maybe now is just the right time. I would love to believe.
Yeah.
I'd love to believe.
I know.
Hey, well, congratulations, Catherine.
Thank you.
You
Alan.
engaged woman, you. And a Valentine's Day to remember forever. Thank you for calling.
Oh, thanks, Alan.
Cheers, darling. Bye-bye. How good is that? Mind you, Timbo's spoiled it a little bit by sending an email saying, "You're not making my ring bigger, Alan." No, leave that alone. Walk on. Kay is with us. She's in Lowfell. Hello, Kay.
Hi, Alan.
Hello, darling. What's happened to your Valentine's Day then?
Oh, no, my Valentine's Day has just began. My husband's just coming from work.
Oh, bless. Oh, my goodness. So I'm picturing the scene now. I don't want to look because I'm a gentleman. I would look the other way. But I'm presuming you're in a negligee amidst petals of roses up to your knees, waiting for him with a steak dinner and a bottle of plonk.
No, like a mint lamb dinner with a fluffy dressing gown. I'm afraid.
And you know, that's lovely. Now that's proper real, and I personally prefer that, absolutely. So, I mean, did he surprise you in any way, or was he not bothered?
Well, we don't really bother, Alan, because I mean, we love each other anyway, you know, and I think that's more important.
Yeah, absolutely.
We get each other a card, and I mean, I got him some sweets, and he got me some sweets, and we do with our stuff, so...
Right. No, that's great. Yeah, I think people have to realise, yes, it's just an excuse for people to make a fortune on cards and teddy bears and little hearts and all. We all get that. We know that it's a commercial thing. But on the other hand, I actually quite like the idea that there's a day where we've got to think about loving each other. Because sometimes in the mix it gets a bit lost. Do you know what I mean? You don't tell each other enough. You don't hold each other enough. You don't kiss each other enough. You don't each other. All of those kind of things. Life gets in the way a bit, and it's nice that you just remember.
It's like there's not a day goes by when we don't tell each other that we love each other or give each other a kiss. You know, every day.
Right.
I wouldn't have it any other way.
Well, you see, reality in real life, you know, is the fluffy dressing gown and you're wearing your cashies around the house where you don't exactly look your best, but you love each other and you respect each other, and you know that if you wanted to scrub up, you could do a pretty damn decent job of it. And,
oh God, yeah.
That's the thing. So I mean, he comes in late. Did you card him before he went out, or did you card him when he came back?
No, we've had our cards this morning before you went to work.
That's right. That's great.
Yeah.
Now, you know, there's an awful lot to be said about security, and I don't mean locking your door, feeling secure with somebody so you know you can just be you with them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's tremendous.
I mean, he's just the best person for me ever that I've ever met in my whole life.
How did you meet?
I've just known him all my life, really, but...
You've just known him all my life?
Yeah.
Well, you go to school with him?
No. But we've been married for 3 years now, and that's perfect. You know?
Things going good?
Oh, brilliant.
Fantastic.
Brilliant.
I know, okay.
Yeah.
Just all that together, to me, sounds perfect. You don't have to try. If you wanted to try, you both could, and you both know that. That's great. Hey, be comfortable with
as long as he's got a beer in the fridge and me lights are on round the fire, I'm happy.
Well, congratulations, and thanks for coming on. Happy Valentine's Day.
Yeah, but what I did come in to tell you is about when I was younger.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, like when we used to go out from like me being 18 onwards,
Yeah.
It'd be like the end of the 80s, beginning of the 90s. You would go out, you knew everybody because everybody knew where everyone would be,
Right.
you know, in different bars and things.
Yeah.
So, of course, there's this night when I had met somebody, and you used to always say to them, like, oh, like, so you met him on a Friday, and then you would say, oh, right, so we'll meet tomorrow night, 7 o'clock, top of the escalators, Monument Metro, you know, because really, you know, it wasn't about texting things then.
That's
and
true.
That's the way we did it. So,
yeah.
of course, this night, you know, met this bloke, great. Meet you tomorrow, 7 o'clock, top of the escalators, Monument Metro. I was like, yeah, get in, you know, get to the top of the Monument Metro, like the escalators. And I started walking towards the wrong bloke.
Oh.
And all I heard was like, hiya, I'm over here.
Did the other guy look better?
I don't know, but I think it's because then, I mean, I just thought, like, I mean, I think everybody who grew up in their era always think that their era is the best. I think I had the best time growing up in the 80s, the 90s. The best part of the night was standing in a taxi queue at Central Station till about 4 o'clock in the morning. Everybody lining up and cracking on, and it's like your night wasn't over when the pubs and clubs shut, you know.
No, that's true. And
it always kind.
My memory of that queuing at the Central Station was because and I'm going back to the time when I was drinking fairly heavily, it was you'd stand at the end of the queue and your dream was to get to the front of the queue before you wet yourself, because by the time you got to the front of the queue, you drank like tons of liquid and your stomach was rolling. I mean, it was horrible.
Oh, I've had many a taxi driver stop halfway along the felon bypassing me, say, yeah, I need to get out here a minute.
Don't look. Leave the door open.
I know.
It's either that or somebody throwing up. I've had a few with them.
Oh, honestly, hilarious.
It's funny, though, and I bet loads of night owls will be listening about this. I'll meet you at the top of the escalators at the Metro. For me, it was outside the fire station in Newcastle, you know, where the bottom of Northumberland Street. And I'd met this lass at Newcastle Mayfair on a Friday night. And I have to say, when I met her, I was mortal. But I remember towards the end, meeting this girl. She had blondie-ish. You know, the blonde hair that has the black stripe down the middle? She had blondish hair, and that was all I could remember. I couldn't remember what she looked like at all. But we'd agreed, like you always do, I'll see you tomorrow, 7 o'clock. Outside the fire station. There's a party on. We'll go to the party. And I didn't know anybody, didn't know who she was, so I didn't know any of her friends. But I'd picked up a bottle, and I'm there at the station. And I was doing that thing. Oh, look at her. Oh, I hope it's her. No, it's not her. It's not. Until the right one comes along. It was a wild time, though. And I think everybody has a few of those kind of memories, I bet.
Oh, I know. I mean, me and, like, because I used to go out with girls from work, because, like, I was a Burgess girl on the Valley.
Right.
And, like, we used to all go out, and we used to go out Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday without fail. Talk about what you were going to be wearing on Monday, on Thursday. You know, it was like back to work Monday, what you're wearing on Thursday, you know.
Yeah.
But it's great times, really good times.
Happy days indeed. Hey, but lovely talking to you. Thanks for coming on, Kay.
Yeah.
All the best.
Thanks, Alan.
Thanks a lot, Darren.
later.
Bye-bye. There you go. Now, what memories do you have about that, meeting somebody? Because that was the case. The girl's name was Angelique. Oh, wow. When I met her, she was not as I'd remembered her at all. She was a shapely lady. And, well, somebody's just shouted in my headphones. Oh, if we're going to go to the song... Chris can only go now. We better go straight across, Chris. My apologies. I was wanting to tell you the story on another occasion. Hi, Chris.
Hello, Alan. How are you doing?
It's Chris the Truck. I'm good, mate. Thank you very much. How was your day today, then?
Not too bad. Not too bad. I finished work this morning, got home, had a cup of tea, went to bed. And then I got up this afternoon about 5 o'clock-ish, made me tea, had a nice steak and some... asparagus and chips and stuff, and
well, I bet your wee was smelly after that.
Well, I haven't been yet.
You'll get a waff when you go, don't worry.
Aye, I'm sure I will. I'm sure I will.
So what are you ringing about then, Chris?
Well, I commented last week on the Facebook page about the TV shows.
Yeah.
And the ones I loved growing up that I'd never miss as a kid was Sooty.
Oh, Sooty.
Because Sooty was just brilliant. And Thomas the Tank Engine.
Classic, absolutely. No, they're all good. I thought Sooty was underrated. I mean, it takes a genius to come up with a puppet that doesn't speak. I mean, that's genius. And I always thought Sweep was just naughty. So it all kind of worked. And the bulldog and Sue, and there was a bit of love and passion going on there behind it, but we never actually saw them. But we knew that the feelings were there. No, I thought Sooty back in the day when I was little was like. I even remember the theme to the Sooty show. It was fab. Loved it.
Yeah, it was brilliant. And then obviously growing up, I'd probably still watch Sooty to this day if I saw it on. But but growing up, I liked obviously car shows, so Top Gear, the Grand Tour, all of them sort of things, Fast and Loud and that.
Yeah.
But I like documentaries and things like the air crash investigation documentaries.
Right. I've been watching recently on True. There's a channel called True. Don't know whether you've ever come across it. And it's they do things like the world's craziest drivers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 9. The world's stupidest robbers. The world's craziest this. And they're the kind of shows that are absolute crap, but you cannot help watching them.
They're addictive, aren't they?
Yeah, quite like them. Quite like them in a. They're going to show the same recording 90 times, but even okay. First time you saw it was really good. They just shouldn't repeat it quite so much. Anything else while you're on then, Chris?
I've got a couple of jokes.
Oh, let's have them. Good man.
Couple of jokes. So, what's a vampire sweetheart called?
What is a vampire's sweetheart called? I don't know.
His ghoul friend.
Oh, dear. Right.
And the last one, 2 antennas met on a roof, fell in love and got married. The wedding ceremony wasn't that fancy. The reception, however, was amazing.
Hey! There you go. Good stuff. Thank you, Chris.
Cheers, Al.
Take care, man. Bye-bye. Let's talk to the stars as well. Starting off with Gabrielle, who's recently, of course, unleashed herself out of a costume on television. This is her talking about, one of her biggest and best hits.
Did it move as quickly for you as it did for the rest of us? Because when that happened, suddenly it was like... Because normally, if you look at most artists, it's like, we tried one, it didn't come off. We tried one, changed labels, tried another one. And then eventually you get there. This was bullseye first shot, wasn't it?
Bullseye, because I actually had been signed to another label, but they weren't really a proper label, so it was easy for me to say, pull a strap, say, I'm walking out. It's going to cost you, can't just walk. But I did. And so the official thing was that Go Beat kind of came looking for me because it was still a demo.
Yeah.
And basically from being signed to them just putting it all together, and before you knew it, like June '93 was when it came out.
Whoosh,
and
you were there.
Wow, like the following week straight in at number 2 and then number 1.
This has got to be major life change, like
it was.
in a blink of an eye.
I tell you why, because from a kid watching all the Brit Awards and Top of the Pops, all those kind of things, I remember when people like Seal and Lisa Stansfield and Wham. Big Wham fan I was in those days. I know,
frightening woman.
I love them. So to be, and also to having that book that I've got at home, the exercise book with like See on Top of the Pops, ha ha ha.
Yeah.
And there I was, all these complexes about myself. And then all of a sudden I've got a number 2 record and that's Top of the Pops. Hey. I was like, I mean, I couldn't sleep. I was like, wow. And then to doing Top of the Pops, and it just really taken off from there.
Was it what you thought it would be?
No, because it's smaller in the studio.
Yeah.
But it was fantastic. You just don't care. You're doing Top of the Pops. Everybody is going to see you, right? All your friends, all those people who are doubting.
And then you look forward to the next week where everybody's going to just casually mention it and you're going to be a bit humble. Right.
Well, it was fantastic. And then the following week I was number 1. And I can't remember. I think it was UB40 or someone like that.
Right.
I'd been at number 1 the previous week.
They hate you,
Oh, don't say that. Oh, crikey, I like UB40.
Did it move as quickly for you as it...
Whoops. I meant to play this.
Night Owls with Alan Robson.
What are we talking about next? You make the call. 0191 488 3188.
Greatest Hits Radio.
And we have the stars coming out at night, as always. And a chance to hear an amazing chat with a lady who had over 20, 30 hits, I think. One of the biggest selling bands of all time, the Supremes, on the show. We have Kay, though, who is in South Tyneside. Hi, Kay.
Hiya.
Hello there. Good evening to you.
You all right?
And what are you talking about tonight?
Well, first of all, just about a post that you put last week about nostalgic shows and things.
Oh, the TV that you used to run home from school to go and watch, yeah.
So I used to run home from school to watch the ITV, and then you see the programmes like Art Attack, Zap, I don't know if you remember that one, was like a cartoon strip.
Yes, it was.
That's brilliant, that one.
Yeah.
And I was just thinking about it the other day about like kids and stuff, because I've got two sons myself. And all they're really interested in is YouTube. So it's like they're never going to experience that excitement of running home from school to watch their favourite shows.
Because we had to run home to watch them because we couldn't see them any other way. If you weren't there when it came on, there was no chance that I'll just watch that when it suits me later. There was no chance of you doing that.
I know, exactly. And it's just, I feel like it's a little bit sad. Like what I've done with them as well is I bought them some DVD box sets for Christmas.
Right.
To try and get them into like watching something other than these people that talk about games on YouTube.
So what kind of things did you go for with the box sets then?
Well, my youngest son, I got a Simpsons box set because he does like to watch that. He watches that with me now and again, but it's mainly YouTube that he goes to.
Right.
My oldest son, I got him a Family Guy one.
Right.
But he hasn't put that on yet. He keeps saying to us, I'll watch it when I haven't got anything on YouTube to watch. I'm like, oh, for God's sake.
Yeah.
But it's like, for both of them, really, they'll sit and watch people playing computer games. They'll not play the computer games, or they'll do something, but they'll watch people playing them. I say, what are you getting out of that? Why aren't you playing the game?
No, but you got to remember there's also people who watch that woman's channel who just teaches you how to fold and wrap presents. And that's all she does. Mind you, I have to say one of the funniest things that I saw last week, and I'm sure most of you guys did too, were those solicitors with the solicitor who had the filter of the cat on.
Oh, I seen something advertised about that. Was really funny.
So it looked like, and the fact that he had to, and these are solicitors, so you would think they'd have more sense. He says, but I don't know how to get it off. And then he said, I am not a cat. but the picture was a cat with big white eyes.
I've seen it. It was hilarious.
It was very, very funny. But again, so I mean, we're all guilty of a little bit of YouTube, I think.
Yeah.
But it's
my partner's the same. He watches a lot of like YouTube and TikTok, and the three of them, my partner and my two sons, will send us these videos of YouTube and TikTok, and I'm like, I can't be bothered to watch. I'm not a video person like that.
Yeah.
I've got to be like in the mood to be able to watch one. But them three watch them all the time. Stupid stuff as well, like watching kids opening toys and reading comics and things like that. It's like, what do you get out of watching people opening little toys and building them and stuff?
But mind you see, when you were a kid, and certainly when I was a kid, well, you're not a bit of a curtain twitcher. If the neighbours were out in the front garden, were you not kind of having a sport? Because I think that's what YouTube is now. Not just YouTube, but the net. It's like you can kind of snoop on people and they're all doing TikTok and doing that blasted dance. So that's our version, the modern day version of curtain twitching. I think it's just a bunch of nebby notes.
That's
what
exactly it. I've got a Valentine's thing for you as
Oh,
well.
fantastic. Do tell.
Well, it's a bit of a disaster thing that actually happened tonight. Me and me, we've been together for 14 years, so we don't really bother with Valentine's that much. But
right.
We had planned to cook a meal together, like an Italian meal, have a couple of glasses of Asti and some candles. So
Great.
we're both tired today, so we set the candles up and the wine, and we decided we'll order a pizza instead. As you do. How romantic.
Yeah.
And you know how you get the bit of paper that your sauces go in, it looks a bit like a mix-up bag that your sauces go in.
Yeah.
Well, I had took my sauces out and I had put the bit of paper over the side of the table, and then all of a sudden I realised it was on fire. I'd only went and put it on top of the candle.
Oh no!
Thought I was hotting up over Valentine's Day. So there's me with my dressing gown on and a bit of paper in my hand, shaking it, trying to get out. I'd gone into the kitchen and hoist some water over it.
In the sink, right?
Yeah.
Oh, blimey.
So it was a bit of an eventful one.
That could have gone so very, very wrong.
Oh, I know.
Jeepers. If you hadn't
Look,
seen it.
so quickly.
Yeah, hey. But you had a decent time anyway. This is the thing, though, because you see, most people are hearing other people, oh, they did all this, they went all that for us. 99% of people did the cuddly, we'll have a bite to eat, I've bought her a little this or a little that. But it's not the big, grand, oh, well, the van arrived this morning and 300 red roses arrived. I mean, that's very, very, very rare. And now, have you seen the cost of a rose?
Oh, no.
Woo!
Pretty extortionate.
Unbelievable.
I'd rather have a pizza.
And you did. Good stuff. Thank you, Kay. Lovely hearing from you. Thanks, darling. Bye-bye. Should rather have a pizza. Now, you see, this is where it all went wrong. I'm not going to name names, but someone that you listen to decided that last night, because they were working on a Sunday, they would get a lovely, nice meal ordered in, like takeaway, and planned it all week, knew exactly what it was going to be, and then arrived late last night to collect it, at a romantic time of the evening, and the place was shut, said, we're closed because of COVID, we won't be opening till the end of the month. Crash and burn. 0191 488 3188. We have Elaine, who's in Telford. Hello, Elaine.
Hello, Alan.
Hello, darling. What can we do for you tonight?
Well, I'm going to take you on a journey to a past life, Alan.
Oh, go on then.
I'll say two words to you.
Mm-hmm.
Plumber House.
Plumber House? I used to work at Plumber House. Hello.
So did I, Alan.
Hey, great to hear from you, Elaine. How you doing?
Very well, thank you. And you?
I'm doing all right. Thank you, Katie.
Yes.
What are you doing in Telford?
Well, we moved here. We lived in, obviously, up north for a while.
Sure.
But when my mum died 3 years ago, there was nothing to keep us up there because our son lived down here.
All right,
so we moved down here to be beside him.
Nice. Has it worked out for you?
It has. It's lovely, Alan.
Oh, that's good. Good news. Plumber House is now like a student residence where they get their breakfast cooked for them, and it's very posh. Very
very nice.
Very posh.
Very nice.
You wouldn't recognise it. You truly wouldn't. But there you go.
And I nearly didn't recognise you as well because the black leather jacket and the bare chest and the cross with the leather round there.
Yeah, I've still got the hair. Still got the hair as long long as it ever was. But I've done away with the bare chest with the huge crosses on it. That's a fact.
Yes.
Happy days, all the same.
And also, I remember, I don't know whether you remember this, Alan, that you came up to Prudhoe one time.
Yes.
To visit us at Prudhoe High School when we were doing the gang show.
I remember very well. And do you know, the weird thing was, and for years afterwards, because the radio station I was with didn't want to get out into the provinces and they wanted to do everything in the middle of Newcastle or the middle of Sunderland. They didn't want to, and I wanted to go to all the places where we didn't normally go because that was cool. And the proof of the pudding was when I went to Prudhoe High School, I stopped outside and there was like 80 people outside just waiting to see me go into this, not actually do anything, just go into the school. And I thought, this is the reason. If we'd have done something in Prudhoe, outside, like put a stage on with dancey, singy, or the whole town would have been out.
Oh, yes, it
No
would.
question about it. But no, that was lovely. Now I
We
remember
used to
that
get
well.
good support from the town for the shows we put on.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yes, uh-huh. Yes,
Good.
we
Are you
did.
still connected with the Scouties then?
No, not now. I'm retired ages ago, my mother.
Give over.
I'm 74 now.
What? Unbelievable. Yeah.
Yes,
But you
yes.
see, in my memory, you'll never age, you see. That's the thing.
Oh, well, there you go.
I just remember you the way that you were.
That we were.
Happy
and
days.
Just on a Valentine thing, to see that we've been married 52 years this year.
Oh, congratulations.
So that's a long time, isn't it?
Come on, you got loads of people out there that are who just had an engaged. A lady got engaged this very day. What's the secret then of hanging on to the same fella?
Well, it's a secret for the fella, right?
Oh, go on then.
And that involves 2 words. Yes, dear.
Yes, dear. No, I absolutely. And I would like to add, it's slightly ruder mine, but I think there's 2 answers. The first one is, yes, dear. And the other one is, and this is, I mean this kindly to men, if I had any advice, shut the flip up. They're the 2 things. If you can do the yes, dear, and then just don't just shut up. Just leave it. Walk away. It's fine. It's going to be all right. But no, congratulations. That really is a milestone. No, 52. Good gracious.
Well, there you go.
Hey, well done, and lovely to hear from you, Elaine. Thank you for coming on the show.
To you, Alan.
Bless you, darling. Take care.
Okay, right.
All the
Bye
best.
now.
Bye-bye. How about that? Somebody that I used to work with in a previous life. Happy days. 0191 488 3188. Earlier tonight, got an email, and it was from David and Julie from Jarrow Paranormal. It says, "Hi, Alan. I just thought we would send you an EVP that we caught on Halloween. This is the first time ever I've heard Alan get a call deep into his personal past. Lovely." Yeah, I've been lucky, Dave. God, blame me. I have been so lucky. God, there could have been some strangers. There still might be. You never know. But anyway, David and Julie from Jarrow Paranormal sent me an EVP captured on Halloween. Hope you can make it out. I kind of do, and I've got it in me little file. So just bear with me a second, then I'll dig it out. I put it in me featurey bit, and I've got a lot of stuff in there at the moment. But where is it? It should be there somewhere, probably at the bottom. Right, well, there it is. Got it. Now, let me quickly explain the crack of it. EVP, electronic voice phenomenon, if you're not sure what it is. It means you go out and you try and capture as much as you can if you're on a ghost hunt, and you hope that on your ghostly machines you will capture something when you ask numerous questions. We've been lucky, we've caught a few in our time, a good few. We've also had complete nights where we've caught nothing at all. But let's go across to David and Julie before I'll play you that clip. Hi, David.
Hi, Alan. You all right?
I'm good, mate. Thanks for coming on the show. Appreciate it. And thanks for sending me this thing. Where were you?
We were in Jarrow at the Bede Monastery.
That's the one that's open to the public. That's at the... I know exactly where it is. It's
St. Paul's Church.
If you go down from the hall...
Yeah,
across to the
right,
church, behind the church, there's the remains of the old monastery that you can walk in and out the buildings. Brilliant. Yeah. Okay, so how long were you there for?
We weren't there that long because the night didn't start off too good, because when we pulled in to go into there, a big gang of kids went in.
Oh, blimey.
So we thought we'll give it 5-10 minutes, and then I got agitated and I says, right, I'm going in, I'm going to chase them.
Right, right.
So I went in and I says, look, it's not safe in here, so he's going to have to go.
Right.
So they left, so me and my wife Julie went in.
Probably after they swore at you, gave you a finger or two, and then went
No, actually they were quite decent, you know, they were there, no problem. And
champion.
So we went in and set some of the gear up, some cameras and what have you.
Great.
After about 10 minutes, the batteries went on the cameras.
Right, that's happened so many times. It just seems when you're in places like that, it sucks all the juice out of cameras.
It does, yeah.
Even mobile. I had charged a mobile phone up. I looked at it, it was like 22%. I'm thinking, I haven't even made a call. How's that possible?
Apparently they use the electrical energy for
communicate or
communicate. Yeah. But like I say, the battery and the camera went flat. We put the spirit box on, went round with that a bit. We got a few little voices, but you couldn't really make out what was being said and that.
Mind you, on the EVP, and I'm going to play that now.
Yeah.
The EVP, to me, and I'm not trying to make it what I want it to be, rather than what it sounds like. It actually does sound like I presume it's Julie, is it?
Yeah, it's Julie.
Julie was asking the question. She asked one question, didn't get an answer. She asked a second question, and then it does sound like someone is saying yes. That's what it sounded like to me. I'll just play it now so that the dear sweet listener can, frankly, make their own mind up. This is it. You got to wait about 15, 20 seconds before you hear it, and listen very carefully. Hawk the radio up if you want to.
Did you reside here? Are you a lost soul?
Now, to me, and I didn't really make it out terribly well, but when I first played it, it just sounds like somebody's going, yes. Is that what you got?
No, just after Julie asks if it's a lost soul, a couple of seconds after that, we hear the word Jesus.
Jesus?
Yeah.
Hang on, I'm going to have another hike at that. Just bear with. I'm just going to play the end bit, because it's the end bit you're talking about, I think, isn't it?
Yeah, very end bit, yeah.
So just bear with me. I'm not going to give it all to you. So let me move that along. I think I can do that. Can I do that?
Did you reside here?
Hang on. Oh, yeah. I got it. I got it, yeah.
Plain as day, isn't it?
Mind you, when you know it's there, it does sound like Jesus. And you're at the Bede Monastery.
Exactly. Good connection there.
Whoa, that's cool. Hey, but thank you very much for sending it. I mean, have you managed to get... Because I'm presuming you can't get out too far, because you're not supposed to be out at all, if you know what I mean.
Normally we use the monastery as our base, for to test new equipment out and things like that. Because, you do get a lot of background noise off the road and Nissan and things like that, but you get used to that when you listen to the EVPs, you just filter that out,
Right.
But it was only till a couple of nights ago I was putting some EVP out of the computer. I thought, we'll give it a listen. And we picked that up, and I thought, whoa.
Perfect. No, perfect. Thanks for sending it. What's your next adventure going to be then?
We're not too sure, really, with this lockdown, plus the cars off the road at the minute. But what we're thinking of doing is having a look through your book, because Julie got us your new book for Christmas. Brilliant, by the way.
Thank you, bless you.
So we're going to have a flick through that and see if there's anywhere local to it, and then get out and about then,
There's hundreds local. It's really surprising. It's just, and you're not going to need to travel too far. So fingers crossed and good hunting. Thanks for coming on, though.
I think we're going to try Jarrow Hall, see if we can get in there.
Jarrow Hall's great, absolutely. There's stuff going on there, no question. Hey, thanks for coming on, man. Appreciate it.
No problem, Alan. Thanks very much.
Hey, no worries. There you go. Jarrow Paranormal. That's what that is all about. Got a quick conversation with another superstar, and then we are heading in the direction of the news, and then your second clue, so get ready for it. First things first, though, Phil Lynott of Thin Lizzy, superstar. I was with him backstage. I think it was the Renegade Tour, for those of you that are counting, and this was one of my earlier chats with him, when I decided I was going to ask him some questions that people had asked me to ask him, and, well, I did.
I've got a few questions sent in by listeners. Actually, the postbag was bursting. I mentioned about a fortnight ago that you'd be coming on. We get regular requests for Thin Lizzy on the programme. They're played practically every week. And I wouldn't, if you wouldn't mind answering one or two, right? First of all, Karen Thompson from Southwick would like to know whether or not you really hate Gary Moore after all the press coverage that was given to the so-called feud.
No, in answer to the question, when Gary left the band, I myself personally thought it was like a real sleaze, and he knows why. I don't like him, you know. He knows well and good, and he knows, like, there was no love lost between us for a long time. Now that, like, the situation is over, you know, and I can reflect on it, I could say maybe I won't hear him, but I've lost an awful lot of respect for him as a person.
Yeah.
But as a player, he's great.
Of offering a first dose to everyone in the top 4 priority groups by today. Dr. Nikki Kanani from NHS England says those people who've not yet taken up a jab but changed their minds can still have it.
We will keep making sure that you have access to the vaccination. So it's not if you say no or you're not sure that you don't get another chance, you absolutely will. And we will keep offering the vaccine in priority order.
A further 258 deaths of people with coronavirus have been recorded in the UK. Almost 11,000 new cases have also been identified. In sport, Manchester United slipped up in the Premier League title race once again with a 1-1 draw at struggling West Brom. They're back up to second, but 7 points behind leaders Manchester City, having played a game more. Fulham won 2-0 at Everton to move within 7 points of safety. Arsenal are into the top half after beating Leeds 4-2, while Southampton lost 2-1 to Wolves. In the Scottish Premiership, Celtic came back from a goal down to triumph 2-1 at St Johnstone and strengthened their grip on second. And Ireland have begun Rugby Union's Six Nations with back-to-back defeats. They followed up their opening loss against Wales by going down 15-13 to France. The French remain on course for the Grand Slam along with Wales. From Sky News, I'm...
That's great, thanks for that. And let's get back into Night Owl. Greatest Hits Radio North East, and second clue that could win you our Night Owl mug. And and also one of these from Sue. She sent in like a little can we get it? Or is that better? Yeah. If you'd like one of these, she makes these things up, and they're available for you. She's put her Facebook site on Facebook, so dig it out if you fancy picking one up. However, we've got some more worst date stories coming in. Gary from Washington said, went out on a first date to find out she was actually my cousin. Natalie from Easington, 5 minutes into the date, I get asked, are you going to have sex or what? Because I've got things to do today. I presume her answer was no. And Rachel from Trimden, he started to give me tips on how to grow the best weed. My mum picked me up. And also, hi to Gina. Gina just wanted to say hi. And also, Tina wants to tell Brian Ainscough that she loves him very, very much indeed. So there you go. So second clue to win you the mug, win you the jewellery thing. Clue number 1. A sightseeing trip on a boat is usually called a what? A sightseeing trip on a boat is usually called a what? Second clue. 1960s Cowboys TV series starring James Garner, Roger Moore and Jack Kelly as Bo, Brett and Bart. They all belong to the same family. The TV show was the name of the family. What was it? It later became a Mel Gibson film with Jodie Foster. Okay, so you have 2 clues. 2 more clues to come. They get easier. And I think you will manage this. We're looking for a greatest hit, and we're also looking for the name of the film that it was in. Okay? A greatest hit, the film it was in. See if you can do it. 2 clues down, 2 more to come. We're talking to Mary Wilson, the late and great Mary Wilson from the Supremes, a little bit later on. However, we've got Jason, who is in the friendly port of Amble. Hello, Jason.
Hello, Alan.
Hello, mate. What can we do for you?
I want to say to them, people who helped us, I want to say a big thank you to, please.
Okay, how did they help you then, Jace?
I was doing some silly things in life.
Oh, blimey, right. So who were these heroes that came in and helped you then?
Turning Point.
Turning Point, oh, great. Well done. What did they do in particular that made a difference in your life?
When I was just doing for the advice what to do.
Right. And you trusted them enough to do what they told you as well, because that's a big step.
Yes.
Good on you. Well done. And you're feeling better now? How are you doing?
It's better. I'm doing really better from this time.
Why is it? Is it because of the lockdown?
No, I was doing some silly things in life. I was messing around with the wrong people.
Easy done. I think we've all been there a bit, but so now you're free of them, are you? Or are they still about? Are you free?
No, I moved Everest.
All right, okay, that's a good way of doing it. Brilliant.
I moved out to Everest where I was living. I moved from Amber to Cromerton.
Right. And since you got to Cramlington, things have been all right for you?
Yeah, fine. Good time. Laughing and that.
Good stuff. Hey, well, that's good news, and thank you for your thank you. Anything else while you're on?
I want your autograph.
Stay on the line. We can take care of that dead easy. No problem. I'll send one out for you today. No problem. Thanks for calling. Take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye. There you go. Oh, hang on. Worst dates. Some more of them are piling in now. We're getting an awful lot of them. Let me just delete the last one so I don't repeat myself. Tracy from Amble. I got asked on a first date how many people I'd slept with and who my exes were. He wanted full names. Blimey. Izzy from Merton says, I blocked his toilet. Oh. And Catriona from Newton Aycliffe. He took me to the cinema. I was 16, he was 21, and he paid for me on a child's ticket. Oh, that tight beggar. There you go. Brilliant. If you've got any more first date stories, do tell. Chris been building them up. But let's go to Benwell. We've got Val there. Hi, Val.
Hi.
Hello, darling. Were you just too late for Happy Valentine's Day?
Thank you. I'm glad about that because I just wasn't bothered about it.
That's all right. Well,
I missed the postman yesterday, you see.
Right.
And I just would have told him to put them in the blue bin anyway because that's where they end up most of the time.
Oh, right,
I hate to see them so stacked down so much.
Well, I would imagine in your house you got so many behind the front door you could hardly open it. I'm thinking.
So many what behind the front door?
Well, Valentine's cards through the door, you can hardly get the door open.
Oh, no. I think my Valentine's days are long gone.
Oh,
in fact, they were never started.
Hey, no. So what do you want to talk about then, Val?
Well, all the things that everybody, I mean, these vaccines, I am not off glad they've got in tow with them now.
Right.
And I'll be first in the line when they send my letter, but I just miss it by 57 days.
Oh, blimey, do you?
Yeah, exactly, because I'm not 65 till the May.
Oh.
So I miss it because it's the 31st. So I'll be the next batch, though, so don't worry, I'll be in that lane.
Right. I mean, have you heard, I mean, did doctors, send a letter out to you? Or do you have to contact them?
I know from my sister, she's getting a letter sent to her. She got hers at the weekend. She's older than me, and... So she got hers at the weekend, and her husband said he wasn't going for his. And I went, why are you not going for yours? And he just said, because I'm not going for mine. I went, why? It's only a little prick, and you must be used to them.
Oh, I'm sure that probably didn't help.
All of that with my brother-in-law.
Right.
Living to death. He will be going for it. It'd just be me, but he knows what he doesn't know. He should know better than to make me because I give him as much back.
Yeah. Never give any lip to a Benwell lass.
Never give any lip to this Benwell lass.
No, that's
as much as I get.
That's for sure.
No, I've kept in touch with Claire and Richie. On Facebook, and honestly, them two are so comical.
They're great.
They're a great family, honestly, aren't they? They're a lovely family.
They are. It's very special people.
How's Hazel doing anyway? Because I've never heard, because obviously I've been asleep sometimes with us working at 5 o'clock. But
Hazel's been on the show, and she sent an email saying that she wanted to come back onto the show, but she didn't send a telephone number, so the people backstage weren't able to get in touch with her. But if she wants to come back on again, we'd be more than happy to.
Oh, yes. So lovely to hear from her.
Absolutely.
I'm glad to hear she's doing well.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we've lost so many people from our Night Out family, but we're getting extra ones, so that's good.
That's what we're aiming for. We're aiming to grow it as far as we can, for sure, and take it further as well down the road. We've got a few plans for you. Anything else while we're on then, Val?
And as for disastrous dates,
yes,
I've never really had any disasters. The only thing is half them turn up and I'm the one that turns around and goes the other way when I see them before it's...
So, I mean,
they didn't recognise me on the way.
How did you get on? How did you get the blind date in the first place, though?
I don't know. Well, one actually was internet dating, and I did go across and speak to him, and then I thought, oh, no. I mean, I did see him again.
Right.
And then later on, it was like he was making excuses, and I'm thinking, once you're making excuses, I don't trust.
Right. No, I get it. I get it.
So I sort of said, well, if I find out, look up what happened to Bobbit. And
Right.
I've never seen him again after that.
No. I think that's warning enough, Val, right there. God,
Certainly was.
blimey.
Right. Anyway, I'll let you go and somebody else can come on.
That's lovely. Thanks again, Val.
Right,
Good to hear from you.
thanks. Bye.
Take it easy. Bye-bye. Some more worst date stories piling in. Adam from Roker. I'm 5'8". She turned up at least 6'2" and wearing huge heels. We looked like the mother and the toddler. Tony from South Shields, female Tony. OMG, the one where I paid for dinner and he took the change. And Rihanna from Newcastle, appalling. First, worst date stories. We were in a restaurant and he said, let's get the whale over and get some drinks, in a reference to a healthily sized waitress. Not great. Also, not every man has a partner that lives and breathes. So you bought yourself a doll partner.
Aye. I didn't fancy trying to date anybody like that, and I think anybody would replace my wife, really.
So you bought the doll not for anything sexy. This is just company.
No.
This is just company.
I couldn't date if I wanted to because we're having the operation for the prostate.
Oh, blimey.
I didn't get an erection anyway, so...
Right.
Just cuddles.
It's just cuddle. Oh,
I'm
bless
not
you.
kidding, she's lovely. I went to Asda and I bought her some pyjamas and stuff out of the way.
You're a proper gentleman, Bob.
Aye.
Yeah, Bob treats his inflatable woman well. Gets a proper Jim Jammy Jammers too. Now, we lost somebody who is an absolute superstar. Stop in the Name of Love. Baby Love, for heaven's sake. Stoned Love. Floyd Joy. And all those amazing Supremes hits that were so up the ladder to the roof. There, I'm Gonna Make You Love Me. So many amazing songs. Mary Wilson died this week. So I thought, perfect opportunity to play a chat that I managed to get with Mary some years ago. Enjoy. Mary Wilson from the Supremes. I've got Mary Wilson on the line. Hello, Mary.
How are you?
My goodness.
Thank you.
I want to whisk you right the way back to the very beginning. What was your life like before the Supremes? I mean, were you a rich person, a poor person, somebody in the middle? What was your life like?
Well, I was, before I was in the Supremes, I was only 12 years old, so I was a very, very happy young girl.
Right.
And, we were what you would say poor, yeah, but we had a happy life. I mean, we weren't in poverty.
Right. And so how did the whole idea of the Supremes reach you then? Because you're just a little girl.
Yeah.
I mean, how did it happen?
Yes. Well, you know what? It was actually through school because we were in like the 8th grade, I think it was.
Right.
And I went to a talent show. It was a talent show we had at school, and I met Florence Ballard there. She was on the same show.
Mm.
And we were just singing. I was pantomiming to Frankie Lyman and the Teenagers song, "I'm Not a Juvenile Delinquent."
Right.
And yeah, it was really cool. And so it was the first time I had ever done anything like that. But the kids were just having a ball. And also Florence was on the same show, and she sang Ave Maria.
Right.
So yeah, so after the show, we kind of got together and said, "Boy," she said, "you were really good." And I said, "Your voice is great." And so we just started talking. And pretty soon, someone asked her if she wanted to be a part of this group. Well, we had said when we first met each other that if anybody wanted to get a group together, we would remember each other. So we became friends. And then, a couple of months later, Eddie Kendricks and Paul Williams, who later on became two members of the Temptations, they had a little group going. And their manager wanted to get a girl group together. Right. So Florence knew one of them, and they asked her, and then she asked me, and then somebody went across the street and asked Diane, who we didn't know very well. And that's kind of how we got together. But there were 4 of us.
It just seems a very, very strange way to put together a band that was going to conquer the world.
Yes, well, those were the days when everybody was singing, on the street corners and just hanging around doing it.
Yeah.
And I guess you could say it was fate, huh?
No, absolutely. But I mean, it must have whisked you away from your studies very, very quickly. And before you know where you are, you're being zipped all over the planet.
Yeah, but one great thing is that when we met, we realized that this was it for life. I mean, I knew that's what I wanted to do for the rest of my life.
Right.
And we we would come home, do our homework, and then we'd hitchhike down to Motown and try to get an audition and things like that. So pretty soon they did audition us, and that was it.
And the thing that was strange that you don't see quite so much nowadays is almost instantly you had a team of writers behind you giving you just the greatest songs.
Yeah, but you know what? They didn't do it right away. In fact, Mr. Gordon, when we first had our first audition, he turned us down. He said, "Oh no," he said, "come back and see me after you graduate from high school."
Right.
So, but we didn't do that. We kind of just stuck around there, and pretty soon they realized that we were serious, and that's when we started doing hand claps. In fact, one of the earlier background records we did was with Marvin Gaye on "Can I Get a Witness?"
Right.
We did a lot of background during that time. But after Barry saw that we were really serious, then he put us with his best writing team, Holland Dozier Holland.
Yeah.
That's when the hits started coming. Mm-hmm.
I bet when you were doing the backing vocals, you were loving it, but I bet you were desperate to push whoever was singing, even if it was Marvin, out the way. Say, come on, it's got to be our turn now.
Well, yeah, kind of. But, we were only, 16, 17 years old. So we were kind of enjoying the whole experience of it. But, yes, we wanted our hit record. But, it didn't come right away.
No.
The hit record.
Must be a dream come true, though, for you, Mary, because here's a little girl growing up, and all of a sudden you're not just playing dressy up, but you're appearing in all of these stages and showing off to a lot of people.
Yeah, it was very exciting because we were still in high school, and doing we were doing record hops for the various DJs on radio, things like that.
Yeah.
And we had about 7, 8 records that we released as singles. They weren't hits, and people were calling us the No Hit Supremes at Motown.
Yeah.
And but then we got that one big hit in 1964, Where Did Our Love Go?
Yeah.
And that changed everything. It changed our lives. I mean, it totally did.
I mean, from that moment on, because that wasn't just a hit in America, which is a big enough place to have a hit, all of a sudden pretty much every country around the world made that a #1 song, and it just never seemed to stop for about 10, 15 years of hits after that.
Yeah, it was very exciting because we went from being the No Hit Supremes to having, we had 5 consecutive #1s, which was something that no one was doing. I mean, not even your Beatles were doing that,
right?
In a row. So yeah, we became something.
Was there a downside to it? Because I would imagine your private life was on show to everybody from that moment on.
Well, I guess there were, but it's an individual thing. Because for me, there was not a downside. I totally enjoyed it. But, the traveling was a lot. Then, of course, being a kind of group that we were kind of always in control of our own sort of things we wanted to do, our own rehearsals, the kind of clothes we wore, all those things. And then, of course, becoming the biggest group at Motown at that time, we had to take orders from everybody else, so other people were telling us what to do. So that changed a bit, the dynamics of it, but, overall it was pretty great.
Isn't it strange that before long you were actually competing with Diana, of course, because once Diana was no longer there, the Supremes just kept going.
Yeah, well, it was pretty good for us. In the 70s, Diane was replaced by Gene Terrell, who gave us some great hits, Stone Love, Up the Ladder to the Roof, you know, Floyd Joy.
Uh-huh.
So that was pretty good. Yeah, and Diane was on her own. So, yeah, it was. But, you know, we didn't think of it as competing, but I guess people did. Other people thought it was competing. And then, you know, eventually she got her hit record, and then she went on to be a major superstar. So.
Right. Is there any ambition in the musical world? Because you're still working after all this time, and you're still sounding superb. I mean, how do you do it? What is it that you're doing with your voice to keep it as supple and wonderful as it is?
Well, I guess God bless me. I adore, like I said, when I was 12 and met Florence, Diane, I knew this was what I wanted to do for the rest of my life. So I just love it, you know, and I've just been blessed with, you know, good luck and things like that. So, hey, as long as it lasts, I'm going to be there. Some people say, when are you gonna you know, retire? I'm like, why should I want to retire when I'm doing what I want to do?
No, absolutely.
You know, that's a great thing. In fact, guess what? I just applied for my Medicare.
So if there's any problem after touring, you're covered. Fantastic.
Yes. So I'm real happy.
No, I bet you are. I mean, whenever the rest of the world looks at Tamla Motown and the machine that it was to kind of pump out not just hits, but great singing artists that the world hadn't seen or heard of before, it seems like a really friendly, almost like a social club. Oh, here's another one from Motown. I mean, was it like that, or was it a bit dog-eat-dog where everybody was trying to climb over each other to have a hit?
No, it was fun. It was definitely fun. I mean, and you're right, it is like a social club. We get together, and it's almost like going to a family reunion. So, no, there wasn't a lot of competition back in those days. We were all just enjoying being able to sing and to do these wonderful things and to be around other wonderful people. So it wasn't, you know, a lot of kind of ambitious like it would be today, you know.
Right.
It was totally different. We had fun.
Right.
I mean, some of the people that I see, when I see them, it's like seeing a cousin, you know.
Right, yeah.
And we talk about the good old days.
Yeah. It must have been a real shock back in the day when, I mean, the Supremes were still having immense success. And Florence Ballard, at the age of, I think she was about 32, was she, when she passed?
Yes, she was, unfortunately, yes. Nowadays, whenever we hear a telephone call, we get a little sad because, especially if it's from Detroit, we think, well, who passed away now? We've lost so many beautiful, beautiful people. And obviously for me and for Diane, Florence was, you know, she was a sister.
Sure.
And had such a hard time in life, and yeah, it was very sad. I probably grew up a lot when Florence passed because I saw how the world wasn't. I wasn't seeing it through my rose-colored glasses any longer. You know, it was like real life happening there.
No, for sure. And it's strange, though, that you've been in the business the length of time that you have. And obviously, Florence succumbed to one of many temptations that must have been out there for all of you, being young people and having enough money to do pretty much what you liked. I mean, how come you didn't fall into any of the traps that's out there?
Well, I mean, I may have fallen into a few, but I was able to get out. You know, right. I think that's perhaps something that you can even say about life. Life has a lot of traps for people out there, and it's not so much that you fall into them; it's how you get out of them, and that you get out of them.
Well said.
Sometimes it's life throws you things that you just cannot dodge.
No,
and I guess my family, to answer your question, I guess, you know, I had a really strong family background, strong values, and you asked earlier if we were poor and that. I think that has a lot to do with it, too, because even though we didn't have a lot of money, we had a lot of education in my family, a lot of good values and things that kept me strong, and I knew about things.
Right.
And I think a lot of times that happens to you. Sometimes when you're maybe too poor or whatever, families are struggling, they don't have enough time to give you everything you need in your life.
Right.
And I think for me, I just had my mom was an angel, And, I had a good, I just saw her, how she survived life, and I was able to do the same thing.
Nah, you've done amazingly over the year. I mean, when Dreamgirls came out, that was loosely based on you girls, wasn't it? I mean, how did you feel about that? Did it bring anything back to you?
Well, it brought things back to me, but it really was not about the Supremes.
No.
I didn't get paid. I didn't get paid. So it was definitely not about us. Now, I've written 2 books. I've written 2 books,
Yeah.
And my book, Dream Girl, is the real story of the Supremes. Now, here's what I would say. I would say that these guys who wrote the original Broadway play, the book, they were probably inspired by the Supremes, but it wasn't really about us. So there were a lot of things in there that, they definitely seemed like they were us.
Right.
And the part that Effie was the part that seemed very much like Florence Ballard.
Yeah.
I loved it, but I'm saying it really is not the story of the Supremes.
Sorry, you would have loved it more if there'd have been a check attached.
Oh, yeah. Several checks.
I've got to ask you a naughty question, because we were talking about the fact that I was going to be having a chat with you tonight, Mary, and somebody said, she was the one that went out with Steve McQueen. And then all of a sudden somebody else says, no, it was Tom Jones. And then I thought, never in the world. So then you go back through what's the story? Tom Jones, Steve McQueen, which one was it, or was it both?
No, wait a minute. Why should guys have all the fun?
Well said.
Oh, boy.
What must it have been like to be able to attract that kind of attention from Steve McQueen, for heaven's sake? He was on the motorbike in The Great Escape. He was in that car in Bullet. Mary, what's it like when somebody like that starts chatting you up?
Well, what does chatting mean? Well, you English people, you have different meanings to things. I have to watch what I say to these questions. Well, all I can say is that I've written several good bestseller books. You just got to read my books. I'll bring some over there for you guys. And
it's a deal.
Then you can get the inside story on it.
Gotcha. Okay, that's cool. Mary, it's been a joy talking to you. Thank you for sharing some time with us.
Oh, thank you so much.
Call Alan Robson's Night Owls now.
0191 488 3188.
This is real life conversation with the voice of the North.
Greatest Hits Radio.
Now, we mentioned before worst date stories. We've given you 4 previous little groupings, and Chris on our phones has come up with another whole wadge of them. Siobhan from Sunderland, these are worst date stories. Here's no ad. I went to meet a guy at a restaurant and he only brought his ex with him. I was like, I'm out. And it's like those conversations that most men have had at one time or another. If they're with a partner that's not a keeper, a lot of men, no names, have tried to get that threesome thing going, where you say, she's very pretty. Have you ever? It very rarely works. Once. 0191 488 3188, 145 missed the target. One scraped in and it was shabby. 0191 488 3188. Petra from Durham says he was buying his own drinks. He went to the loo, so I took his credit card to the bar and spent 50 quid. Good girl. Janine from Embleton, his card got declined in the first bar, so I had to pay for the entire night out, including the £60 taxi home. Where did you live? Where did you go out for a night? Edinburgh? 0191 488 3188. Let's get the Night Owls on. We're off to County Durham now, where we find Heather. Hello, Heather.
Hello.
Good morning, darling. What can we do for you?
It was just, my son was on here, it was last year, around June, July.
Right.
And he was on about his Auntie Moira,
Uh-huh.
who had cancer.
Right.
Obviously, she passed away.
I'm sorry to hear it.
And he did ask us to come on and say hello, and obviously he wanted you to have an update that she passed away.
Right, thank you for that.
You know.
How's he doing? I mean, was he all right? How did you explain the whole thing to him?
He basically knew, do you know what I mean? He was at the funeral and stuff like that. He took it quite well, to be fair.
Because when I was little, to be honest, even when you get teens, it's just suddenly they're gone, and getting your head round it's quite a trip, I think.
It is, totally, yeah. I mean, he does have problems, do you know what I mean? But obviously, he's took it really well.
Good.
So
I know when you get older, it's a part of life, and it's inevitable, and it's going to meet all of us. Just when you're young, you seem to think that everybody's going to be there forever. You know, your mums, your nanas, your aunties, your uncles, everybody. Oh, they're going to be there right through my life as this huge safety net. And yet, one by one, the safety net disappears. That's how it's planned out. Anything else while you're on, Danny?
He used to go to Flamingo Land with her and everything, do you know what I mean? Yeah. The memories were there always, so...
Well, I hope that on anniversaries of her passing, you get all the photos out and have smiley memories rather than sour ones, because...
most definitely. Could the Ben say hello to you?
Of course, yeah.
Hi, Roland.
Hello, man. How you doing?
Not bad, you?
Good to hear from you again. Thanks for coming back on just to keep me up to date, because when people say, oh, such and such is suffering from this or that, quite often you never ever hear, well, how did they get on? What happened? So thanks a lot for that. What you up to then during lockdown? How are you entertaining yourself?
Well, I've got a mate who lives around the corner, and he's like one of my support bubbles, and we help each other out and
that's good.
Go on walks.
No, it's good because I'm doing everybody's head in. So as long as you can share it with somebody and you got somebody on the end of a phone you can have a bit crack with, it kind of helps.
Yeah.
Hey, no, but good for hearing from you. Thanks for coming on, mate. All the best to you.
You do.
Thanks again, man. Bye-bye. There you go. Heather and Co. County Durham. And it is true, because quite often people will tell me tales and you don't get the follow-up to it. Crystal has sent this in. I'm not sure if you remember me. I've been on a few times. The last time I was on, I mentioned I was moving into my own place. I remember. Well, big news. I don't only have a 2-bedroom house. I've had a baby. My daughter is 6 months now. She's called Mila. She is everything I could ask for and more. Motherhood is a blessing. We're both doing great. I hope you're well. Could you please give a shout out to Leslie and Hazel? I hope they're both safe and well. All the best from Crystal. Great to hear from you too. We have Joanna next, and she is in Kenton with, well, a tip or two for everyone. Hello, Joanna.
Hi, how are you?
Give me hope, Joanna. Give me hope, Joanna. Give me hope, Joanna, till the morning comes.
Well, I'll try.
What are you up to, anyway? You're doing something pretty special, it sounds like.
Yeah, I've been helping a local charity for the last couple of weeks with their sort of PR and promotion.
Right.
And basically, there's a local charity called Us Active.
Right.
It's been set up for a couple of years. It's a northeast-based charity supporting young people aged between 12 and 25,
right,
who are experiencing or at risk of developing mental health difficulties, which obviously, especially at this time, given COVID, the time of COVID, it's impacting everybody's mental health. But
it is.
We think especially young people who obviously are feeling very isolated, can't see their friends, can't get out and about and do the activities they would normally do.
And they don't seem to have anywhere to go to get help as well, which is even worse. So what have you been doing with these guys?
Yeah, well, what it is, I mean, the charity normally takes young people on a referral basis, but they've launched this initiative called Get Online, Get Active.
Right.
And basically it's 15 weeks of free online fitness classes, from everything from boxercise to strength training to yoga classes, all given by fully trained experts and trainers.
Great.
And really, all anybody needs to do, if you're aged between 12 and 25, there's different blocks of age ranges, so you can find it really easy on the timetable to allocate which classes you feel like doing.
Right.
And there's 105 different classes running from Monday to Saturday from tomorrow.
Right, so where do you get it? How do you get on? How do you log on? How do you get your little shorties in place and get ready to do it?
Right, you can view the timetable, book a class, and find out more about the coaches if you go to www.
Yep.
Usactive, which is all one word.
Usactive.
.org.uk.
.org.uk, yep.
And then there's / GOGA.
GOGA.
Yeah.
Goga. Right,
Yeah.
so usactive.org.uk /GOGA if you want to take part in this it's free initiative, and it's something that would benefit anybody. Try it if you just move the furniture back a little bit, create a space, and get down to it. It sounds fantastic. What got you involved with this? Are you like a PR company, or how's it work?
I decided to go it alone during lockdown, so I've kind of set up my own marketing consultancy, just to try and.
Wow.
Well, I thought it's worth the risk. I think the last year or so has given everybody a bit of time to think about different things and what they want to do and where they want to go.
Right.
And I've worked in marketing for years, but I've always wanted to do it for myself. So, yeah, I quit my job and decided to set up on my own.
Gutsy. What were you doing before?
I was working in marketing, but for like the public sector.
Right.
So I just thought
instead of making money for these clowns, I'm going to make money for this. Absolutely. Go for it.
I think we've all realised, especially, I mean, I'm a North East girl, and I think we've all realised that supporting local and putting something back into the area where you live has become even more important.
Absolutely.
And, you know, I'm really proud of where I come from, and I love the North East. And actually, if I can help small businesses and small companies sort of weather this storm and get through it, and, you know, help them with a bit of marketing here and there. You know, I don't charge massive fees. I kind of do work on sort of a sort of ad hoc basis where I'll take on a little bit of work and I can be paid for it. And then you can, you know, call me up a few months down the line and ask me again. Like, I don't have big contract fees, and hopefully that'll help small businesses survive a little bit better.
If you help them through it too, they'll stay with you when, hopefully, when it gets through the other end as well. So that's
hopefully,
that's
the plan.
That absolutely should be the plan. Well, good luck to you, and thank you very much for coming on. And let's just quickly repeat: www.usactive.org.uk /GOGA, and I presume it's fairly straightforward once you get there.
Yeah, as long as you're aged between 12 and 25, you've got access to all of the free online classes. Everything's on there. The timetable, so you can literally scroll through you can scroll through the rest of February and March, see what classes you want to book for. The rest of them will be uploaded in due course. You can read about the trainers on there. So, you know, there's pictures and information about all the trainers, so you know that they're trusted, qualified people. And, yeah, just go online and book and choose which ones you want to do.
Good stuff. Thanks again, Joanna. All the best.
Thank you, Alan.
Thanks,
Cheers.
Alan.
Take
Bye-bye.
care.
Bye-bye. There you go. Lovely thing to do. And we've been contacted by somebody in Connecticut in the United States of America who says, you blew it. Now, that's not true. I was merely bending down, fastening the laces of me Converse. 0191 488 3188. Joey from Peterborough is next. Hi, Joey.
Hello, Alan. You all right?
I'm good, mate. Thank you for calling. What you got for me?
Just a story about the first date.
Oh, good man.
Many years ago. I mean, this was probably back in, had to be when I was living back home, probably 93, 94.
Right.
And there's one workmate, it was her sister, who she actually worked as a librarian. I think it was in Walton or North Shields.
Right.
And basically it was a blind date, got sorted out. So I thought, why not, you know? So I did. So I met her in, remember there was quite a few Italians down Pilgrim Street. Remember years ago?
Yes, absolutely.
Which I think is a bit derelict now, isn't it? There's not much.
Yeah, sadly.
Going on then, yeah, it's supposed to be redeveloped, but regardless, it hasn't been.
Yeah, but there used to be ones on both sides of the road. There was Italian restaurants.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, well, this was like the left side where the fire station was up, like before Swan House. Anyway, so met her outside there, and we went in there, had a bit. So went to get some food and that, and everything was going canny, But then I got a bit concerned when I come out the loo and the waiter goes, seriously, serious face. He went, listen, mate, whatever you do, don't get on the limoncellos. What are you talking about? Like, so anyway, talking about. So anyway, like, got that then. Realised that I was just drinking a canny bit. Yeah, she must have had it. Probably about 2 or 3 carats of wine or something. Oosh. So anyway, we sort of finished up, and then the next step was, going to, it's a bit of a nostalgia trip list for other people. We'll go to Dobson's,
Oh, right.
So we went there.
Yeah.
Obviously, had a few with them, we did, music going loud and all this stuff,
Yeah.
Me, obviously, he's having a great time and all this stuff. I noticed, seems to be like dictating around, she's having a canny bit to drink, and then anyway, we ended up in Sergeant Pepper's.
Brilliant.
And coming there, we did. And basically, the doorman, Al, friendly as usual, the doorman made a joke of that, right? You can't get up on the tables tonight and stuff. And she was laughing away. I'm thinking, hell, come on here, Anyway, there's obviously like quite a lot to drink as well. Like after that as well, like I'm just what's going on here, It's like, and basically what. Lo and behold, she did. She was getting up, dancing, and the doorman away. Like, right. By this time, I'm thinking, right, what we're going to do now? And she went, well, let's go clubbing. So anyway, back then, Ritzy's was open still, wasn't it? So, right, we're gone there. This is about midnight. So, obviously, it was a cheap Thursday and that. And basically, honestly, it was just...
It wasn't cheap with the amount of drinks she was down in.
No, not at all. Like, but I mean... There was probably about 2 occasions. I mean, she was, by this time, I was absolutely shattered. She was getting the rounds in and stuff. Yeah. And there was 2 occasions I was going to the loo. And back then, I think they used to get, used to basically, if a lass would get up dancing or whatever, used to get, a free drink and stuff. And she was getting up there, dancing away,
right,
getting all these free drinks and all that, man. And basically, honestly, by about 2 o'clock, absolutely hammered I was. And my dying memory was of her basically getting me a hot dog, giving us a big hug, giving us about a tenner or something for a taxi, putting us back in a taxi back to Crampton or something it was.
Did you see her again though after that?
I remember seeing her ring her up and stuff like that, and would sort of semi-arrange to meet. I'll try and meet you next week or whatever. But no, it didn't happen. But the funny thing is, probably a couple of years ago now, I seen her sister again, and she ended up getting married 20 years ago, and family and all this.
Right.
I was joking on with her sister about this blind date, exactly what happened, and my sister was just laughing, going, that exactly sums it up. But apparently what happened was, about a year later, probably 95, 96, she met some bloke, and that was it. She just totally calmed down. But talking about the beer monster, it was absolutely hysterical.
And you'd have thought with a librarian, be lucky to get her have more than a Coca-Cola or something.
Well, exactly. That was a funny thing. And apparently what happened was when she ended up living down in London in the end, and she ended up running some library, I think, somewhere. I think Romford or somewhere. She ended up getting a decent job and all that, and she settled down and all this, But I'm just thinking.
So the only library with a bar down there, maybe. Who knows?
It was absolutely. Yeah, I mean, it was a great night looking back on it, but it's normally in the past when I'd been lasses on dates, I'd be dictating where we're going, but she was now, we're going here and we're going there, right? You get this down, you get this short down, you. And all this, and it was just what the hell is
it's wearing though, because I've been out with somebody kind of like that, not quite like that, but a little bit like it. And in my head, I'd planned it's a first date. We'll go for a drink. We'll then go for a nice meal, and then I'll get her home nice and safe. And you think,
that was it.
And then we'll go here, then we'll go there. Then you must have been ruined by the time you'd finished.
I was thinking after Dobson, it was basically go to go to where FMs used to be at the monument. I was going to pull her back on the monument,
Gotcha.
back on the metro at 10, and then I was back up the Haymarket for painting back home. But no, she had other plans. Yeah, so there was by hindsight, it was funny, but I remember just being absolutely wrecked the next day. I used to work in the ministry. I remember having to get a flexi day off. I was that wrecked.
Flexi, God bless Flexi time, I tell you.
Right, Alan. Right,
Good man. Hey, lovely to hear from you, Joe. Thanks very much for coming on.
All right.
Take care.
Mate.
Bye-bye. Joy then, Peterborough. Yeah, Flexi time. Oh, how we fiddled that. 0191 488 3188. Let's talk to another star. This time, it's not Tracy, because we had her on the last time. It's Tracy Thorne's pal from the band called Everything But the Girl. His name's Ben Watt. So what about ghosts? Ever seen a ghost that had a strange spooky experience of any kind in this amazing life you've had?
Well, I would like to say no, because I'm not a particularly superstitious person, and I don't sort of believe in that kind of thing.
Right.
But I do feel I did have one experience once in London. We were living in a rented flat not long after we left university. We came down to be musicians in London, Tracy and I. We were in Camden and Belsize Park, actually.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a small flat over a garage, and I just remember there was we had one bedroom, and then there was a tiny box room,
Right.
and you could see the box room from the kitchen table. And I remember sitting at the kitchen table and thinking that the flat felt really cold, unusually cold, and looking up and being convinced I could see a female figure sitting on the bed in the box room.
Wow.
And I got up to walk towards it, and it disappeared. And I have never, ever had an experience like that in my life before. I'm not the kind of person who looks for that kind of thing. Perhaps it was something psychological. Perhaps I'd drunk too much absinthe or something. But, you know, whatever it was, it's left its mark on my mind. And it does come back to me when people ask me that question.
Both of them.
So it's a step in the right direction to get freedom again, really.
Having had COVID, it almost feels like we've got through the worst of that element. So it will be nice to have our turn, but I'm well aware that our turn is probably quite a long way away.
The Queen and Duke of Edinburgh say they're delighted after Harry and Meghan announced they're expecting another child. Sharing a black and white photo of the couple, a spokesperson said Archie is going to be a big brother. It's not known when the Duchess is due to give birth. Royal commentator Victoria Murphy says there's going to be a great deal of interest in the news.
Whenever the Sussexes say or do anything particularly about their family or their personal circumstances, there is a huge amount of attention, and we've seen an absolute explosion of attention following this announcement.
The government's new hotel quarantine rule comes into force from this morning. Passengers arriving to England from 33 so-called red list countries will have to pay to isolate for 10 days. In Scotland, that's the case for all international travellers. In sport, Fulham have secured a 2-0 win at Everton to give their hopes of avoiding Premier League relegation a boost. Manchester United are 7 points behind leaders Manchester City following their 1-1 draw with strugglers West Brom. Arsenal were into the top half after beating Leeds 4-2. Rangers are looking into whether any of their players breached coronavirus protocols by attending a party in Glasgow at the weekend. 10 people were issued with fines. And Ireland lost 15-13 to France to suffer back-to-back defeats at the start of Rugby Union's Six Nations. They were beaten by Wales in the opening match last weekend. From Sky News, I'm Robin Montague.
Alan Robson with you, Greatest Hits Radio Northeast. And time for our third clue that can win you our Night Owl's mug, the mug, and also a lovely little bit of jewellery that's got owls and stars and radios and all kinds of things on it. So if you would like one of them each, we have your third clue. Now, what you've got to work out tonight is the name of the song and the name of the film that it was in, okay? That's what we're looking for. The first clue is, a sightseeing trip on a boat is usually called a what? Second clue, a 60s cowboy TV series starring James Garner, Roger Moore and Jack Kelly as Bo, Brett and Bart. And then the surname was the name of the TV show. It was later made into a movie starring Mel Gibson and Jodie Foster of the same name. Third clue, 2 words put side by side. The first word is frozen water. The second word is the opposite of a woman. Okay, so it can't be simpler than that. You have 3 clues. In about 20 minutes, I'm going to give you the 4th clue. Then you ring up and you tell me the name of the song and the name of the film that it's from. If you can. We call it our What's It, and you've got to whip out your What's It and be victorious if you can. Good luck to you all. Let's go across and talk to James, who's in Anitsford. Hi, James.
Hi, Ma.
Hello, mate. What can we do for you? Yeah, good, mate.
There's one thing for note. I've got any clue what the clue is.
Don't worry about it. I was only talking to really clever people there.
But since you're down the Yellow Brick Road and you're the wizard in North East.
Right.
Right?
Yeah, what you're really saying is I'd look better behind the curtain. I understand what you're saying.
No, you're a wizard. Right? So, the powers that be can please tell me, because I've got the figures in front of us, you know, this corona,
yeah,
right? That's supposed to be 100,000 people died of corona.
Yes.
So, on that basis, you would think, right, so that's got to be at least 90,000 people dying more than the previous years. Yeah? And by mathematics, if you're saying, right, 100,000 people died,
right,
you're going to have at least 100,000 people more died than the previous year.
Right. Well, I kind of see where you're saying, but you don't have to. I mean, arguably.
So if the powers to be is listening,
go on.
If the powers to be is listening,
right,
then please tell me, 2015 to 2016,
right,
there was 529,655 people sadly lost their lives.
Right.
2016 to 2017,
yeah,
there was a massive 607,078 which lost their lives.
Okay.
2018 to 2019,
yeah,
there was 533,253 people lost their lives.
Right.
Then here will come the crunch. From 2019 2020
yeah,
is 530,841 has lost their lives.
Right.
So it's less than the other 5 years.
Yes.
So why is that?
Yeah, so why are we in
I'm asking the powers that be.
Right.
Why is the statistics of people losing their lives in 1 year is less than they say 100,000 people died more.
So what you're saying is that if there'd been, let's say it was 533 the year before, you think there should be at least 633 if there's 100,000 people lost their lives with COVID.
Definitely, yeah.
Right. Now, I hear what you say. I mean, there's a number of arguments you could put against that to say that in the middle, it may well have been that Britain was going to have a year where far fewer people died, but Corona came along and knocked that number back up to roughly average, really, because it's roughly the same as it was last year. 3,000 people less.
Until 2016, 2017,
yeah,
you got double.
Yeah.
You know, we had double.
Yeah.
That year. 2016, 2017, we had double the amount of people died. In 2019, 2020, we had less than every other year, except 2015, which is about 2,000 people.
Right.
You
But
know
I mean,
what I mean?
The point you're making, though, is that if fewer people have died over the last year, why are we in lockdown then, I suppose?
But I suppose it's right. What I'm saying is basically it's just mathematics.
Right.
They're saying 100,000 people has died with this corona.
Yes.
So you should be theoretically 100,000 people more last year, 2019 to 2020. You should have at least 100,000 people more died.
Right.
Natural or death. Sorry to say it, like, but death.
No, I hear a lot of people have looked at the figures later.
Yeah, but the figures state, right, and you cannot argue with figures. And the figures state that 2019, 2020, for the last 3 years, is the lowest death rate in the UK.
Yeah, the lowest in the last 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 years.
Yeah.
Right.
The lowest.
Yeah.
So how do we work that out then?
Well, imagine you take the corona deaths off that. That would be 430. It could have been that this year would have been an amazing year of fewer people dying.
No, or the calling coronavirus flu.
Or lots of other things, maybe.
The same symptoms that you would normally die of. It's because it doesn't make sense. Like, if you've got, how can I explain? You see, because that's why I'm ringing the Yellow Brick Roads, because you're a wizard. If you've got 100,000 people dying,
no, I know you've
said than normal.
Yeah.
Then surely it would be that 100, like 2016, 2017. You're talking about double the amount of what you're talking about now.
Right. If you are saying right, okay. No, I hear what you say. I understand the argument. It's something that I've looked into myself, but it doesn't change the fact that if, no matter what you're calling it, coronavirus is out there and it is leading to the deaths of people, whether you call it they've died of lung disease or pneumonia or flu or whatever, it's lowered people's resistance to the problem and it's taken their lives, or it's contributed.
I am not arguing about the coronavirus.
Right.
The coronavirus is here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't arguing about that. What I argue about is the math doesn't add up.
Maths doesn't add up. Right. Well, we'll see what the owls have to say about that. And thanks. I'm just glad you say. I always say people should look into everything. You don't have to agree with it, but you've gone down the road of looking at the figures step by step. I've seen the figures. I understand exactly what you mean, and you would think that with a problem as bad as it has been, and I've never known in my lifetime a lockdown or anything of this nature before, you would have thought they'd have done that on the year where there was over 600,000 people dying, rather than the time when there's fewer than for the last few years.
That's it. That was in 1617. That was 607,000 people died. Right, I know. But, like, anyway, give a clue, yeah?
No, you get no clues. You'll have to become a bit of a wizard yourself. Thanks for coming on. There you go. He says the numbers don't make sense. You can twist numbers and dance with them any which way you like. Bottom line is keep yourself safe. Full stop. That's it. Crack on. 0191 488 3188. We got some more worst date stories. Claire from Jarrow. I had to listen to him rap for 3 hours. And if ever you get to meet somebody who raps, instantly, if they want to take you home, you would presume, well, they must have a hot tub, because every rap video has always got like 30 women wearing next to nothing, jiggling about round a hot tub. And he's probably only got a foot spa, so I wouldn't risk it. Joe from Chester Street says, he asked me to drive us, but wanted us to split the bill, so I'd be paying for his drinks. Martin from Dunstan, I was 19. I went to meet this girl, and she showed up with a kid that I never knew she had. Potential daddy. Ooh, dum dum dum. And also we have Mark, who's in Suffolk. Hello, Mark.
Hello.
Hello, sir. How are you doing?
It's good. All good.
Excellent. What can we do for you anyway? I think you're talking about the glory that is the Northeast.
So, I've been left the Northeast maybe 30 years now.
Oh, blame me. Poor thing.
Yeah, I know. Grew up in Blythe.
Right.
Poor thing.
Uh-huh.
But I've always looked at the Northeast as home.
Right.
I live in Suffolk.
What teased you away from us then?
I joined the forces.
Right.
And once I got sort of left the forces, my last posting was in Suffolk.
Right.
And it was a case of, well, I'll not go back. I'll do, I'll make my life where I am.
Sure. How's it been then? You enjoyed it?
It is. It's good. Yeah, it's good. But there is some very, very, there's some very, very noticeable things about the Northeast, and especially where I am in East Anglia. Like, the sense of humour here is very gentle.
Right.
Whereas in the Northeast, I remember going to Idols in Whitley Bay.
Yeah.
And there was a guy in a gas mask and a gas tape walking around at like 2:30 on a Saturday night, and he'd be like giving people in the club proper grief.
Right.
And if you gave that sort of sense here, people would just be heartbroken. They'd literally take it to heart.
Yeah.
And the sense of humour here is very, very, very gentle.
Right.
Very,
Yeah, well, in the Northeast, we're as subtle as a turd in a swimming pool, frankly, but we kind of get it. It's like up here, and I know exactly what you mean, because I've got a friend who lives in the Cotswolds, and she came up here to stay with us briefly, and when you talk about your mates, you said, oh, I'm going to introduce you to such and such. He's a bit of a... And she's appalled. Oh, is he? Well, why are you speaking to him if he's a bit... Well, that's just what we call each other. Sometimes we call each other names, but it's just a joke, just a bit of a fun. And I'm sure he calls me probably worse when he's talking to his pals. And we get it, and we don't think anything of it. But if an outsider hears it, they're shocked by that kind of thing.
I mean, I've come from, living in Blythe. I come from mining stock. And my dad was a shipyard worker at Swans.
Right.
And he always said, son, never come to the shipyards. But if you do, and you decide to leave it, just never go down the mines,
Right, yeah.
And that's something I've luckily never had to do, and I've bounced from various thing to thing.
Uh-huh.
And I like to think that wherever I go in the country, my accent and my love of the Northeast shines through.
Right.
And people have always said, oh, Geordies or Scousers or wherever you come from, wherever you go, that I've never seen a sense of pride that people have for the Northeast like anywhere else.
Right.
Scousers maybe probably come a second.
Yeah. I think, funnily enough, I think it's the big port cities, I think it's places like the Northeast, obviously, because we got a couple of big rivers. Then there's Liverpool. If you go up to Glasgow and the Clyde, there's a bit of it too. I think it's the big port rivers around the country that seem to have that kind of difference. The real hard work places, mines, shipyards, steelworks, all that kind of stuff.
I think I'll look at the Northeast as I'm very, very, very proud of my heritage.
Sure.
And especially through music. And obviously Manchester has a massive musical heritage, as does Liverpool.
Yeah.
But I think Newcastle, when you think of what we have in terms of musical heritage, it's a great thing to be, you know?
Yeah.
I'm not talking about football.
Right. Okay.
Because at the minute, that's just like a avalanche waiting to happen, isn't it?
Who's the nearest one to you then? Is it Ipswich or Norwich?
Definitely Ipswich.
It's Ipswich, is it? Right.
And obviously, at a time when I was growing up, mid-70s, Ipswich was quite a major player.
Yeah, FA Cup winners.
Yeah.
Right.
And 78, Ipswich was like my second team. I think we all had a second team.
Yeah.
Where we, if we didn't have Newcastle, whereas nowadays it's like we have Newcastle and we have like some far-flung Spanish or some, team. Back in the day, Ipswich was my second team, and I actually had an Ipswich shirt.
Top, right.
From 78, and I think I remember like Paul Mariner and the players from them days.
John Wack.
Yeah. Ugly bugger that he was. But, I would never have worn that during my like Saturday morning football sessions, but it meant something. And now living here, I think that especially the Bobby Robson condition, that link.
Yeah.
Ipswich and Newcastle, I think, always have something because of that.
Yeah, no, I think so. And also the accent would be more palatable to the people around there because of the love they had for Bobby.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah. No, that's cool. Hey, well, good to hear from you, Mark. Do you get a chance to come home often?
I come home maybe, obviously not recently.
No, at the moment, obviously.
But it's a bugger. I was lucky enough to manage 50 years on a planet last year, and it was all due to be a big thing back up north. That wasn't to happen, obviously. But I just want to say, Alan, that my formative years in the 80s, the Flash and Blade was just a massive, massive part of my growing up.
Well, thanks for being a part of mine. I appreciate it. Thank you, mate.
It used to be, the Flash and Blade was playing so many guitar-based stuff. And then, obviously, your compadre on Radio 1, Tommy Vance.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
I used to sit there when we'd had Amstrad tower system, trying to record everything I could. And between you and Tommy, that was like, that got me to the place where I am now. And that was my formative years. So I just want to thank you for like carrying the flag all through that those years. So
happy to do it. Thank you very much for being on the other side, because if it wasn't for people like you, there wouldn't be people like me. So thank you very much indeed. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Alan.
Thanks, man. Take care. Bye-bye. Nice to know. I was playing. Do you know, it's still such a huge part. I know that because of the nature of the changes in the networking nationally of radio shows and what have you, you don't get a chance perhaps to hear some of the stranger and weirder. It's something that the guys and I have been doing in recent weeks, is finding some of those old things. I was playing a track called Jerusalem, yes, and did those feet in ancient times, that one, played by a band called Wildfire. They make Jerusalem sound kind of Iron Maiden-y, and there's a few moments in it that make all the hair on the back of your neck just stand up. And that music still completely does it for me, and always will. And it doesn't matter whether it has age or not, rather like a good book or a fine wine, it shall always be that great. And I just wish that, kind of like America went all peculiar, and it started separating music. Well, you can play that, but you can't play that side by side. And to me, I'm an inclusive person. Should be able to play what the hell you like, whenever you like. But the world isn't like that at the moment. Everything has to be controlled, as you know, for 1,000 reasons. That's just how it is. But look elsewhere too. Check it all out. There's some glories out there for you to listen to. Let's have some more worst date stories. Kate from Cramlington. The guy asked me to pay half, then kept the receipt so he could run it through expenses at work. Whoa. Karina from Killingworth. Not me, but me mum met someone from online. He was 4'11" and asked to split a £14 drinks bill. I must be on shorts. And says, Jeffrey from Wallsend, I'm still waiting for her to turn up. This was February 2020. Sorry, Jeff, that's not good. Let's talk to Lynn in Bedlington. I think she's got a first date story too. Hi, Lynn.
Hi, Alan.
Hello. I'm good, thank you, Kenny. Thanks for ringing. What's your first date story then?
Well, a few years ago, about 10 years ago, I think I was doing online dating.
Right.
I had quite a few bad dates in a row.
Oh, bad dates in a row. That's not good.
Yes,
right.
it's not. The first one was this guy. I met him for a date. I've been texting him for a while.
Right.
And on the date, he started talking about how he was in one of these, Scottish boarding schools where they had a scandal about the priests were abusing everyone.
Oh, blame.
Which is obviously very sad.
Yeah, yeah.
And he's been to this school, and he started talking about this a lot. After the date, he sent us a picture of him on Channel 4 News. And articles of him, pictures of him in the Times and everything, so it was kind of a bit... I felt sorry for him that he'd been abused, but it was kind of a bit like he was into the celebrity bit of it, so it was a bit...
Oh, he was kind of... Oh, the thing is, it's all horrible and nasty, but to get some kind of weird kick telling everybody about the awful... It's just first dates, and it's horrific what happened to her, and I'm not making light of that at all, but it's just on a first date, you want people to think that you're happy and joyous and full of fun, and...
You do.
You don't want any of the heavy stuff comes when you get to know people better. Yeah?
Exactly, it does, yeah.
Oh,
and then after that, there was another guy who I got on well with him. We went on a few dates.
Right.
So then we got a bit more, intimate. And he decided for the first time to tell us that he had cystic fibrosis in the middle of sex, basically.
God blimey, you've had some interesting and
I have.
In the middle of what? I'm sorry, I've had sex before. I know what happens. And at what point while you're having sex did you say, "Oh, by the way"?
I know.
I mean, did you? I mean, had you been going at it at such a pace, you had to take a break and have a Kit Kat and a cup of tea?
No, it was kind of before that because it was at the point, because I was being very sensible, Alan, as you should do when you're dating.
You should.
And I said to him, have you got a condom? And then he thought that was when he told us. He was like, I've got cystic fibrosis, I don't need to use birth control.
There's two sides of this. First of all, if he's got that, bless him, what a shame.
I know. Obviously,
but would you trust somebody brand new to say, well, all my sperm are dead, actually, you don't have to worry about me. Would you take that chance? Blame me, I wouldn't.
I know, it's, again, like it's obviously he's got, a very serious condition. It is sad, but he picked a very inappropriate time to tell us.
Well, yeah, but also if you are going to make love to someone, any health issue should have been discussed long before you actually get
I had known him for quite a few weeks at that point, so it wasn't...
No, I understand that, but that conversation should have been had days before you get...
That's what I mean,
round there, shouldn't it,
Yeah. But anyway, a bit more lighthearted after him, the next one, and I met him and he turned up.
You should write a book! It's a book we need from you.
He turned up and he had these jeans on where his friend who was good at needlework or whatever had applied a big octopus over his crotch, like a red octopus with tentacles, which I guess was the whole point of it,
Yeah. Did that last any long? Or would you?
Well, no, not really, because he was talking. He had a daughter, and he was going to show the picture of his daughter. And then when he was scrolling through the photos, there was loads of pictures of somebody's naked bottom. So,
yeah. I would have thought with the octopus he'd be a bit clingy, but obviously not.
No.
Oh,
I think it was more the tentacle thing. He was,
Yeah. Oh, just no. But I mean, have you found somebody? Are you still on the hunt? How's it doing?
Oh, Alan, you don't even want to know. You don't even want to ask that. I did get married a few years later, but that was just a disaster.
No, I'm sorry.
He had a drug problem, so yeah.
Yeah. Right. So
I'm trying to get rid of him still. He was abusive, actually. I'm trying to get rid of him still because he is clingy, unfortunately, because he wants to control us still, even though we're not together.
No. You can't have that. Not acceptable at any level. So have you done what's necessary? Have you got a restraining order or anything like that?
I don't need a restraining order, really. He has got a new girlfriend now and everything. Won't sign his divorce papers, so... And lockdown doesn't help with that, because,
No, but the fact that he's got another woman, she's going to want him to be shot of you. That's a positive. Yeah. In a negative situation, that's at least a positive. So, hey, let's hope it's soon. Absolutely. Doesn't stop you looking either.
It doesn't. No, I think. Well, it hasn't stopped you looking, Alan. Has it?
Oh, I'm set. Said he, hopefully.
Well, yeah, but
for the fifth time.
A few bad ones along the way, haven't you? Or a few breakups, anyway.
Oh, yes, plenty of that. But we rise again.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not even dating at the moment, though. The ex has put us off at the moment.
I understand. Hey, you'll get back. You'll be there again. Good luck to you. Thanks for coming on, Lynn. Lovely to hear from you. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye. Oh, what a shame. She sounds like a corker as well. Oh, my goodness. 0191 488 3188. Now, we have Daniel from Redcar. Hello, Daniel. What are you talking about tonight, then?
Hey, mate. How's it going? Are you well?
I'm good, thank you. Yes, I'm very well. So what you got for me? What are you talking to us about?
Well, just to put it pretty briefly, I've entered an online competition out of 5,000 applications, and I've got down to the final 100 people now. And I need help from local people to help me support me and get me through the next stage.
So what's the prize?
To become a millionaire, it was a local property developer called Stephen Green.
Right.
You might have seen him on Rich House, Pool House, maybe.
I personally haven't, but I'm sure a lot of the listeners have. So what do you need from us then, mate?
I just need some likes and some shares on my personal Facebook page, Daniel Barker.
Daniel Barker. Hang on. Daniel Barker, everybody, needs a hand. And
yes, please.
What have you got to do? What have we got to do when we get to Daniel Barker on Facebook?
I've got a link on the Facebook group. It takes you to the likes that I need. And once you fill those 5 likes, and I'll get an email. And once I've had that email, I can send you out some free training from Stephen Green, worth £1,000.
Right.
It's absolutely brilliant training. I did it last lockdown in March.
Right.
I found it really helpful with mental health, because I was suffering quite badly at the time.
Right.
With mental health and depression.
Uh-huh.
And the property training, 80% of it is all to do with mindset.
Right.
And it was totally life-changing. So you can get that for free just by helping me out.
Right, great. So go to Facebook, Daniel Barker, and you're guided step by step where you need to go from there.
Exactly. Yep.
Brilliant. Okay, well, let's hope you get it. I would imagine once you become a millionaire, you'll not be ringing me anymore. You'll probably get your butler to do it, but hey, good on you.
I don't know. I can still ring you.
I'd look forward to it. Hey, well, good luck. Daniel Barker, Facebook. Get him liked, and let's see how far we can take it. It'd be great if one of us could get into 6-7 figures. Good man. Good luck to you, Daniel. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you very much, sir.
Take care, mate. Bye-bye. There you go. And do you want to help him become a millionaire? Now, as you know, we've been talking about love in one form or another for many, many years. And we've got a lot of people who, well, they've been caught at it, is the crux. Sons and daughters, sons and girlfriends especially.
My son had his girlfriend here. She used to sleep in his bed and he used to stay downstairs.
Right. How old was he?
He was he's 24, so he'd been about 18, 19.
Right, okay.
He was the right age.
Yeah, did you have creaky floorboards?
I've got creaky floorboards, very. But they were sitting down. We had all gone to bed. My girls had gone to bed. I had gone to bed. And my husband at the time, he still has it, but at the time he had an asthma attack. And he wanted a drink. So I went, I'll go down and get you a drink and get you a spare inhaler.
Right.
I came all the way downstairs, heard the TV on the music channels quiet. It was playing, is it D12, Purple Hill?
All right, yeah.
So I knocked on the door, because I thought, well, they're probably kissing and whatever.
Yeah.
So I knocked on the door, and he didn't answer. So I knocked a bit louder, so he didn't answer. I opened the door, and I come in, and I went, Michael? And I went, oh my goodness, carry on. I went and got a drink and went back upstairs.
But did you see them?
Yes, naked, the pair of them.
Oh, you don't want to see your son in his nakedness, do you?
No, I didn't. It was quite funny. You know when you see these cartoons and they freeze? He just froze what he was doing, and then he went, the next day I couldn't look at him.
No.
I could not look at him for laughing.
Oh, poor thing.
Now we joke about it. He's engaged to a lovely girl now.
Right, I bet that's the kind of story he hates you bringing up in conversation.
Yeah, that's what parents do.
It's your duty.
Exactly, it's my job description. I've got to do it.
There you go. So catching people at it, catching people doing the deed.
Live and forgive them.
Why?
I don't know, because if they have affairs, then they mustn't love you. I mean, for example, my husband, right?
Yeah.
Had an affair 3 months ago with this other woman.
Right.
Right? Basically, I walked in the house and I found them both in my room.
Were they actually at it in your room?
Yes, they were.
Oh.
Aye.
What did you do?
Chucked them both out. I chucked her out. Felt like grabbing her by the scruff of her neck, but I didn't.
Right.
And then I says to him, you've got half an hour to pack your bags and you're out.
Mind you, it's shocking sometimes who you catch doing it. Okay,
Ah,
so
no.
you're 13. What happened then?
Well, I was going with this lass and I'd been going with her for about 9 months.
Right.
Which is quite a long time for obviously being that age.
Sure.
She'd been in mine a couple of times, but...
But you'd never been in hers?
Aye.
Right.
Aye, because her parents were a bit more strict, you know.
Right, gotcha.
This one time when I went in was the time that I was at it.
Right.
And my ma was downstairs and she seen us walk past her.
Right.
I got upstairs and I just went in the bedroom as normal.
Yeah.
Getting down to business, you know, and like hitting the vinegar stroke and that. All of a sudden, the door opens and my ma just walks in and both of us are completely naked. She picks up my coat off the floor and hoists it out, right? So he's me just like in the corner trying to hide away, you know?
Yeah.
And she goes, you dirty little bee. I was just like, oh, no way.
So what happened? I mean, presumably then she'd have a chat with a girl or get the girl out the house and away.
Aye.
And then what happened? I mean, did she sit you down and give you a speech, or what did she say to you?
No, she was just laughing and that. She was good, I'll not tell your father and that. I'll not tell your father. She ended up telling him, like, in the end.
I was going to say, but 13, jeebus.
The thing is, like, at that time, I don't know why, but I thought all my mates had done it.
Because they all say they have it that age, don't they?
You know, they do, aye.
Yeah. It's that mate that you've always got that's got a condom in his top pocket and you can see the shape of it. You can see the big circle. You don't realise it's been there for like 4 years, and the reason you can see the circle is he's never used one. 0191 488 3188. Pick up your telephone. We have some more room for you. Oh, Matthew from Newcastle coming up after this on the big one.